Come on, come on, come on. You know the vibes by now. You know who it is and you know what it is. Season 1, Episode 9, Agenda Over Facts. It's your dynamic duo. More chemistry than Siamese twins. The apple to your crumble. The plug to your extension cord. But we ain't got crepes covered in sauce right now. Because we ain't big time yet. But we gonna get there. But anyway, it's your boy T.
It's the young Sage Fanuel.
Yeah, we here again. Another week, another episode. Out on Wednesday. Get with a pattern. Follow us on Instagram, Agenda Over Facts Pod. Get them followers up. Get them followers up. And get them followers up. 3 times for extra effect. You know the vibes.
Come on.
But yeah, man. It's another episode, another week. We're about to reach 10, you know. I was actually thinking about this today, you know. Like, next week, it's really going to be on 10 episodes. Should we plan something for it? Oh, now that I've said that, it's accountability, you know.
That's what I'm saying. But more time, I can just edit out. But
you know what's there.
Tricks. You know what? Why don't we try and level up from the usual drivel we've given them for the first 9 episodes? But maybe that's what they love. Maybe that's the appeal. Do you get me? The treat is just the way we're talking normally. What did you have in mind? Like what?
Like, well, I disclaimer, I don't have anything in mind, and if I did, I wouldn't say it because that kind of kills the whole notion of a surprise. You fucking idiot.
You know, maybe this is one of them combos we should have
off air.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. We're still working. You know what? Speaking of having stuff together, one of Toye's friends must have listened to the podcast for the first time, and then T, what did they say?
You're a dickhead. I can't lie because I told you this 5-10 minutes ago. Yeah, now you want to bring it onto the podcast,
bro. And I even said before we started, I literally went, "Is it calm?"
Yeah, I did, but nigga, it's been like 2 minutes 14 seconds. Nigga couldn't wait to get it off his mouth. He couldn't wait to get it off his mouth. We haven't even asked how a week was. Nigga said, yeah, let me get on to tell you. You know that right there, man. So don't worry, you fucking pussy. Yeah, obviously, one of my friends, she knows who she is. I won't name names, I won't embarrass her. But yeah, she knows who she is. She basically said she listened to the podcast. She said she enjoyed it. You know, she said she likes the chemistry that me and young Sage have. And then she was like, oh yeah, like you know how you are with your crackhead energy. I was like, alright, cool, fair enough. She was like, oh yeah, like, you know, your friend, he kind of brings balance to it because, like, I don't be rude, he seems like he has his life more together than you. I said, what? Hey, you know the ones, yeah? She sent me like a voice note saying, oh yeah, like, I'm enjoying the podcast, you man are doing your thing, it's good, like, this is your bag. I'm like, yeah, man, niggas give me my accolades, man. Like if I was a slag at a strip club, I'll be counting them 5s and then 1s, man. You get me? And she goes, oh yeah, but yeah, like, your friend has his life all together. I was thinking, alright, cool, say no more. It's all a facade, man. This guy just talks about this energy and shit, this abstaining shit, all this celibacy shit. And off camera. Yeah, man,
you know what's jokes is like, because obviously he played me the VN, yeah, and it was like you know when girls have this tone, it's like they're trying to walk on eggshells, like, I'm not trying to, but then she was just obliterating your life. She's like, yeah, you bum. Like, yeah, nah, I don't know how to say it, but yeah, you're a bum who doesn't do shit.
But we move, man. It's all part of the agenda.
Jokes aside, though, loving it. Like, love any feedback. Like, bro, I was saying this to Toy just before we started. Like, I'm not really a podcast person. Like, I find it hard to sit down.
Can't even imagine,
bro. It just makes me seem ignorant, innit? Like, I don't mind talking, I just hate listening. Like,
you said it, not me. Yeah,
what's
it? Nigga has a whole segment. Nigga can't help himself.
Like, I find it like, I don't know, like, I sometimes struggle to listen to that whole podcast, innit? So then the fact that people are listening to ours and going, like, even if it's just for one episode, I'm just like, raw, like, safe, innit? Because I understand that they really invested their time in the day, and time is a precious thing, innit? So
but then
love for that, innit?
But then I know some people I've spoken to, or like people in general, podcasts, like if it's like long, like they'll break it into bits. So like maybe they'll listen to like 20 minutes one day, half an hour one day, 15 minutes one day, and then like as that totals up, you get to like, if it's a 2-hour podcast, you get to the 2 hours, so you can break it down. But like me, for example, like I pretty started listening more to podcasts like over lockdown, innit, when I was working from home. So like, you know how them ones when you're in the office, like sometimes like every now and again, like you'll talk to like a colleague that's next to you, banter them a bit. So you know sometimes, you know some people, they don't want to put in earphones and be rude, innit. I'm one of them people. I don't really put in earphones when I'm like working in the office. But you know the ones when you're just by yourself, like you're in your own room, so you're like, fuck it, let me just like put on my headphones and work in it. So I've probably started listening to podcasts more. Like I just do it like full thing. If it's an hour and a half, I'll do it in one go. But then that's just me. It just depends on the person.
You see, when you were like how when I'm at work, I don't really have earphones in because like it might come across as rude. So do you work in like silence? Like, so no music, no podcast, or nothing. Back then.
Or what I'll do, I think it depends on the type of work, innit? If it's the sort of work where it's like, I don't know, like you got like something like a project or something that you know, like it's like your head's down, like you're gonna be working by yourself, and it's like it's a very like isolated sort of work, then maybe like I'll put in earphones in it. Or if maybe like there's not a lot of people around me, I'll put in earphones. But like if there's people around me, maybe I'll put in like one earphone, so then it gives the impression to them that like I'm listening to music. But like if you like need me for anything, if you still want to like conversate with me, like that one ear is still open for you to be like, oh yeah, Toye, like do you get what I mean?
No, because the reason I was asking, I was gonna say, do you find like a difference in your focus? Because I've been noticing that recently, like when you listen to someone talking either through a podcast or a YouTube video or whatever, listen to music and then nothing at all, just the work. Have you done all three?
Yeah, but I think it depends on the sort of work I'm doing.
Well, as in like if you lose focus or not.
I don't know, like if I'm doing like proper like intense work, yeah, then sometimes I don't like to listen to like music or podcasts because I'm like, then I might get lost in a conversation, or if I'm listening to like a banger that comes on, like if Morrison Shots comes on, like, oh, gotta do some shot. Can you got the artist go and do some? You know what's there? Like you get lost in the track, you get lost in the conversation in the podcast. So like if I'm doing like proper intense work in it, then like maybe I'll just have like maybe podcast or music, but I'll have it bare light or just won't listen to anything in general. But if it's like passive work, I just slap on something to listen to. Do you get what I mean?
Because you know it's funny you say that, because from day though I used to always have to listen to something while revising, like music or something. But as of late, I've started like doing more like silent work sessions in it. And then when I go back to music, I can't help but get like vibey. So it makes me think, bro, how long was I not really focusing then?
But then sometimes
you get what I'm saying? Cause
go on.
No, because I feel like you were gonna go on, because some man, they can't, or they'll say they can't focus on one thing, so they need to be stimulated at the same time to be able to focus on a certain task.
Yeah,
do you get me?
Yeah.
Because let's be real, how many men do you know that actually work in silence?
Nah, most men don't. Because it's boring, isn't it? Yeah. Or it's boring. Yeah. In quotations.
Yeah, what's it? Yeah, I
had to say it, no visuals.
What's it? No, because I was just thinking, I was like, I've been testing other stuff in it, so then I've obviously always used like music, but then recently I tried. You should try this, and I want to see if this checks out in it. Sometimes I'll use. Have you seen them like study frequencies or whatever? Oh
yeah, you try to get me onto that during uni times.
Yeah, I can't lie. Like recently, I've been using them, and like I feel bare focused. I can't lie. But maybe it's because there's no words, there's no talking, so then like your brain isn't getting distracted in that sense. But yeah, no, it's one.
But I think sometimes it depends on the genre you're listening to as well. Like say for example, if I put on my drill playlist while I'm working, like no work's getting done. Like, do you get it? like no work.
Do you know what we should try? We should try, because you know how they always advocate classical music. We should try that for like a week, and then I said, like, try it for this week, and then see next week. Come back next week, and be like, okay,
nah. You can run that. You can run that. You can run that. And get back to us.
This is why them man say you're a crackhead, because you just want to listen to just non-stop drill, booty twerking, no high class music.
Get them cheeks slapping on that GRM video, man. Sometimes even you know the ones if you get up a YouTube video, just see bad things in the video, you will stop working for hot sec, fam.
I just reach for that lotion.
Reach for that lotion and come boom, fam. Work from home benefits, like that.
What's it?
Agenda.
What's it? So then let's go on to, bro. It sounded like one. That little conversation was just between us. It wasn't even on a podcast. I was thinking about it in the day. Yeah, it was. Sorry, guys. Let's go back to our usual routine. So our week's in it.
Oh yeah.
So, how did your week go? Did anything?
Actually, no. My week was decent still. Yeah, my week was decent.
Go on.
I'll start off with. Actually, first day I went into the office, because I just to get a change of scenery, change up a bit, and also when I started my job, I started in October times, so October last year, so I actually started during the pandemic, so it was a thing where I was never really working in the office full time, and when I was, it was only X amount of people were working in the office, so I technically haven't even met most people that I work with in it. So I was let me try going into the office, start to actually meet people in real life, actually start to build them sort of relationships at work that you want. Do you get what I mean? And also just have a change of scenery. So I went and that was calm. I was bare focused when I was in the office, just bare focused, my productivity.
Did you have music on or no?
I did actually. I did. But then that was because it was because everyone was social distance. It was the closest person to you can't really be bussing convo. Yeah. Maybe they can do a quick lean over and chat to you for a bit, but it can't be a proper intimate convo. Do you get what I mean? So I had my headphones in, yeah. But then that was calm. So
you see how you made it a thing to be I was proper focused. Do you think it's just the change of scenery, or was it just being around other people can see you working in a sense?
I think it's a bit of both. I think it's one, it's people that you're working with are can see 24s in it. So then it's subconsciously you're thinking, alright, cool. People are around me. People, not that they're watching, but it's the feeling of being watched in it that'll make you feel as if, calm. Let me pattern and do work. Another thing was just when you're just at home, there's just bare distractions. Bro, alright, cool. Because no one's looking, I could just get up I don't know, a YouTube video or a football article or something just to read or watch for a quick 5 minutes. And then that's 5 minutes gone. Then another 5 minutes to get back into the work mode. Then that's 10 minutes. You might just pick up your phone every now and again. You're smiling. You know the pattern, right? You know the vibes. No. And just something like that. Alright, cool. You're thinking, I've worked for a bit. Let me just walk up and down just to stretch my legs. Let me see what the kitchen's saying. Let me see what I can buy.
You know what's jokes? You'll work for 15 minutes. Be alright, calm. Let me have a.
I deserve this. Nick, you don't deserve shit. So obviously, yeah. So I just think it's just a mixture of just bare things in it. So that was calm. So I'm gonna try and make that a habit, going in maybe once a week or something. But yeah, so that was calm. Thursday was calm, but then a mad thing actually happened on Tuesday. Do you remember when you were to me, you saw two crackheads fighting around your ends?
Wait, Tuesday as in a day before we recorded the last one?
Yeah, it happened on Tuesday, but I forgot to bring it up in the last episode because the episode was just bare long in it. Then when I remembered, it was just I'll just bring it up next week. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, go on.
So remember in episode 2, yeah, if you listen to that, go back, listen. Little shout out there. So remember in episode 2 when you were how you saw two crackheads having a fight in your ends, and then you were no one was intervening, no one was
wait, did the same happen to you?
Something similar, but not crackers.
Go.
So obviously, I think it was my lunch break in it, and I needed to go post office in it. So there's a Tesco that has a post office 2-3 minutes down the way from my crib in it. So man's walked to that. Another one's there. Man's just in any attire. I'm in Adidas slides. You know them shorts that they're pajama shorts.
What them 3/4 length jeans?
Nah, it's nah. That's your thing. Nah, but you know them shorts. Yeah, they're not shorts that you can wear out, but they're shorts that you can wear around the house and go to sleep in, pajama shorts. They're flimsy. They're a bit more flimsy. They're not thick.
Are they actually pajama shorts?
Yeah, they're pajama shorts.
Oh, so pajama. You're moving mad.
Obviously, man just wears them things in commando when I'm just at home and just let the thing fly about. Let the missile fly about and detonate.
Hey. Easy access for them YouTube videos, isn't it?
So obviously, I'm just like in that. I'm in like a plain white tee. I got my do-rag on. Like literally, I'm looking like Bobby. The ones there. You're thinking at the back of your head. Shall I change into something presentable in case I walk into someone and it's techie? But I was like, bro, who am I trying for? Let me just post this thing. Maybe go Tesco, get some donuts, and then run it back in it. So I've gone to go post something. I've picked up like donuts or something, like a 5-pack or something. And as I'm going,
what jam?
Nah, chocolate things. You know the Tesco ones with the chocolate, with the chocolate inside. So obviously, as I'm going Tesco, there's a car in the disabled parking spot. Yeah, it's like a white lady, white man. Yeah. So the lady's driving, the guy's in passenger seat in it. Obviously, even when I was walking to Tesco, I saw that. I just said, but anyway, we move on.
Wait. I missed. Wait, what do you mean?
Wow, your babe's driving you around, man. Loud up, man.
He's a beta. You're a beta.
Your baby driving you around, man. Nah, man, that shit can't run, man. But anyway.
Wait, would you... Actually, no, I'll ask you after you finish.
I know what you're going to say about louder.
wait, no, I was going to say, is it an actual thing? Like, would you care that much? Can't I? Me personally, I wouldn't mind being driven around. She can grab my thigh, whatever.
Oh, yeah, you're done out. Nah, you're not joking, though. You're not joking.
No, but jokes aside, I don't think I'd have an issue. Do you know what it is? I think it's, how often were you driven around by your mum when you was younger? Was it mostly your dad driving you around?
Nah, both. It's like even. It's like probably my mum because my mum drove me to school.
So in a way, that's even weirder then. Like maybe I thought.
Nah, man, it's just the fact that you're driven around by your babe, man. Man, that shit didn't sit easy with me, fam.
Wait, so then if she goes, yo, I'll give you a ride, you'll be like, no, it's calm, I'll meet you there.
I'll be like, yeah, do your thing, I'll meet you there. Do your thing, you do your thing, get it.
Anyway, go on.
So obviously. So I've gone Tesco, gone Post Mail. Obviously, they're in the disabled spot, yeah. And then,
are they disabled?
Nah, they're not disabled. They're not, and that's important. That's important. They're not disabled. They look like fully functioning individuals, to my knowledge. At this point, to my knowledge,
I man stepped out the car, did a backflip, did a few press ups.
I'm waiting to say something else. Just walking around in a limp or something, fam.
Hey, if he's walking with a limp, that's a mad commando, bro. God,
so obviously, I've come out of Tesco, I posted my thing, I got my donuts. I'm thinking, yeah, man's gonna tuck into these donuts and have a whale of a lunch, fam. So as I'm walking past the car, yeah, there's a guy and a lady, and I'm still not sure what country they're from. I want to say they're like Pakistani, Turkish vibes, because the lady was wearing a hijab and the guy looked like Middle Eastern sort of a vibe, innit? So as I'm walking past, they're like, so the white couple are in their car, they're in the disabled parking, and like the Middle Eastern couple, let's just call them Middle Eastern, are like right next to them, and then the guy is like saying, you're in a disabled parking zone, bro, like move. And then
is one of them is like he or his wife actually disabled?
I don't know. This is me. This is me walking. This is me like I'm about to walk past the cars, innit? I'm about to walk past the cars, and I'm just preying. Like, you know, the standard Londoner. They're in everyone's business. They're ready to just sit by and see if something's happening. So obviously, I'm sensing the way man said it. Like move. I'm thinking. It's about pop. So I'm like,
man's like, listen, move from the disabled before I make you disabled, bro.
Funny you say that, yeah. So obviously my London senses start tingling in it. So obviously I start slowing down the way I'm walking. I start pretending I need to go ATM. Nigga, I don't need to go there. Nigga, I don't even have my bank card. I'm cash only. I'm pretending that I'm queuing up for the ATM. So obviously my man saying, oh, you're in the disabled parking spot, move. And then obviously the white brother is like leaning over his girl, who's like in the driving seat, which I even thought was a bit embarrassing. He's leaning over his girl seat, saying, hey, he was like, oh, relax, man. Like, oh, we're just staying here to make a phone call. The Middle Eastern brother's like, what do you mean? Fucking move.
I could have seen it.
He's like, what do you mean fucking move? Obviously, I think like I got the impression that they were arguing a bit before I even came in it because he already started off when he said move to the guy and a bit aggressive in it. So I was thinking maybe something popped off before in it. So obviously the guy's like, obviously the white guy, the geezer, he's like, hey, shut up, you fucking cunt. All of that. So then my man's saying, so the Middle Eastern guy goes, obviously you know how it is. If you call someone a cunt, like that's a declaration of war. Do you get what I mean? If you're calling someone a cunt, like you just know that wasn't it. So obviously man heard.
That's a deeper thing.
Do you get what I mean? That's a deeper thing. I don't even know why, but the way the white guy said it, he knew what he was doing. He was like, fuck off, you cunt. When I heard him say that, I said, boy, shit's about to get the fan. So obviously, the Middle Eastern guy, obviously, these times here, I've already seen man's face in it. So he's like, oh, you fucking call me cunt? How fucking should you use the cunt?
Wait, who's saying this? The Middle Eastern guy?
Said,
oh god.
You fucking calling me the cunt? How should you use the fucking cunt? Yeah.
So, hey, bro, I can't even... Go.
Obviously, my man gets out the whip. I saw this guy, yeah.
The Middle Eastern one?
Yeah, I saw the Middle Eastern guy gets out of his whip. He slams his door. I'm telling you, if the door can scream, the door, they said, hey man, you just hurt my chest. So obviously,
you're an idiot.
So obviously, man's come out the door with that violence thing. So obviously, man's come out the door.
Bro.
The white geezers come out the door. He's like, oh, think you're a big man coming out your door, yeah? So obviously, man swung his door open, slammed it. And so as he slammed his door, I'm not looking at the Middle Eastern Don. I looked to the right to see the Middle Eastern Don. I just said, oh, it's long for this white guy. I said, it's long.
Was he big?
Bro. Listen. Did you used to watch WWE when you were younger?
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Don't tell me you man look like a great Cardi, bro.
He looked like...
That nigga be deceased.
Do you know who Alexander Rusev is?
Why does that ring a bell? One second.
Google the brother. Google the brother. And
you're saying that he look like this guy?
People that are listening, please Google this brother. Type in Alexander Rusev, WWE.
Is it EV Rusev, WWE?
Rusev.
Oh my god. No, bro. He was not this. Oh my god.
I'm exaggerating a bit, but let's say he's maybe like same build, but a bit smaller, but same build. And
no, you look this brother's massive.
He was probably like he was like 6'1". He was 6'2" because he towered over me a bit. He was like 6'1". He towered over me.
How tall was that, bro? Be careful. I said towered. People gonna think you're like 5'8".
Nah, but
they said towered.
Nah,
I swear you were like 6 foot.
I'm 6 foot, but bro, do you know it was because he was big.
He's so wide.
Yeah. So obviously he's come out of the whip now, and he's on violence. He's like, "Are you fucking dumb? Who the fuck are you calling a cunt?" Obviously, though.
How big was the white guy?
Obviously, he's come out the whip now. He's tall as well. He's probably like my height, innit? He's probably like my height,
like more slim.
Yeah, but he's slim. Like he's slim. He's like, so see, he's come out the whip now, and he's seen the Don, and he's just, I can see in his face, he was like, fuck, I fucked it. I can see in his face. He said, I fucked him. Obviously, he's got to play the big man. There's babes there, and there's babes in the whip. He's like, yeah, he said, you think you're a big man, yeah? You think you're a big man, yeah? He's just repeating, you think you're a big man, yeah?
From when he said that, that means in his head he goes, oh, fuck, this guy's massive.
Even in my head, yeah. I'm thinking, yeah, he's a big man, bro.
He's huge.
So obviously, I've seen this shit, and I'm thinking, bro, if I let these man scrap, this white guy someone's calling 999 for this guy.
Don't tell me you jumped in.
Bro.
The same guy that was getting onto me saying that what's it? What did you call me? Remember you was at how
a hero complex.
Like, that's it. So, bro, what? And then man jumped in with his cape. Like, no, guys, stop.
And me, you know me, I'm not even usually that guy. Usually me, I even just sit back and just watch the beef. But when I saw this guy,
there was gonna be a murder,
bro. The way he came out of his car and the way he was looking, the way he was stopped. Nah, I said someone's dying today if no one gets involved. And by this time, yeah, there was maybe like 5 or 6 people watching, and obviously the guy that's parked up next to the disabled car park, yeah, he's blocked cars, so bare cars are beeping, saying, "Yo, like, what's going on?" Because they can't like get out of the exit because it's like a slip road.
Bro, this is one tense scenario, man.
Yeah. Obviously now they squared up to each other, and I'm just like, hey man, I'm just like, allow it. I'm just like, allow it. Mostly man's about do rag. Man's even commando. This is homo, bro. Man's bare homo, fam.
Hey, you know what? Hey, last ditch tactic. If it's not working, they're about to be just slap it out.
Get out of the car. So I'm just like, allow it. I'm just like, bro, like, look, it's a summer's day. It's like 23 degrees. It's summer. Coronavirus is finishing. Let's just all be happy and go our separate ways.
Come on.
The guy was like, this guy disrespected me.
Wait, who said that?
The Middle Eastern guy. He said, no. I'm not even trying to be. He said, brother, this guy disrespected me. I'm just allow. Because I'm thinking, I need to relax down this Middle Eastern done, because I know this white guy ain't on it. So if I get this Middle Eastern done to stop, the whole thing's calm. Yeah, the whole thing's calm. So the white geezer, he's like, go on then. He's just like, yeah. You want some? He literally said, you want some? I was like, bro, relax.
I can't lie. He's only saying that because you're now in the middle trying to dead it down. He's aware.
You know, I can tell he was getting bare gas because it was one of them was I held back the white done for a bit in it, yeah.
So he's going mad like, oh, let me
and
go.
Now he's starting to go mad, so I was like, let me even stop holding this guy in just to relax him a bit. You know, that was there. I was thinking, let me go to the main damager. So I'm just thinking,
Youssef or whatever.
I'm going back to my brother Rousseff in it. I've just been a baker. So now the Rousseff done, yeah. He's gone. The guy's gone. You're bugging in the disabled spot. I will make you disabled.
He actually said it.
When he said that, the white donors like, go on then, punch me. I was thinking, this is fucking.
What's this guy doing, man? Bro, you know, it's just ego. Hella ego.
Me now, I'm thinking, alright, cool, tell you. As a bystander, you've done what you can do, man. Because if punches get thrown and it lands on your head, you're kalas. You're kalas. So obviously now I'm in between the two. But now I've put my hand in between the two. Do you get what I mean?
Now it's no longer you.
Yeah, so now it's not you. Now someone
gets
spun. Yeah. It's not me in it. So see, the white geese, he was doing his thing. He was like, he was like mashing his teeth together and going, "Go on, China!" I swear I'm not making this up. Bro, I wanted to laugh in it. So obviously now they've gone proper like close to each other, like proper like pushing each other now, innit? So now the white guy's girl has come out the car. Now his mum was like 2 cars behind apparently. She's come.
His mum,
like the white guy's mum.
The white guy's mum
has now come out her car.
Back up. That's hard.
Come out her car, and then she was like, "Oh, please stop!" Like, she was like, "Please stop! He's got anger management. Please stop! Please."
Bro, he better manage his anger before he gets laid out like a light, bro.
Like, please. He was like, his kids in the back of me. Please, just get in your car and go home. Please, we're sorry. I'm just thinking, oh. So obviously now it's getting a bit more tense, innit? And I think now people start to realize, alright, cool, this can go south, innit? So another brother, like another black guy, innit? Like around our age, innit? He came out of his car. He's like, bro, just relax, innit? Jeez. And then like, I think like in the back seat, I didn't even clock. Like his daughter was in the back seat, innit?
We're just watching the whole thing.
Watching all of this, innit? So I was just like, bro, like, I understand you're mad, innit? You want to punch this guy's face in. But listen, look at you, like, your wife's in the front, your daughter's at the back seat.
Who's saying this?
I'm saying this, you know me, I'm a negotiator.
Bro, so I say, and I'm the one of the hero complex. I'm over here trying to do... Man's trying to do one Oprah talk with him, like, no, listen, your daughter's in the back.
I was like, bro, listen, your wife's in the front. Your daughter's at the back. Your daughter can see this. I was like, my man to the white geezer, your daughter's there as well. I was like, bro, listen, like, you don't want to be doing this in front of your kids. Like, let's just go home and just move on. You get me?
Yeah.
So obviously they've calmed down a bit. They've got to flex their muscles in front of their girls. So,
Yeah.
they gassed it. So now the Rusev done. When he started backing away, I just said, thank you, Jesus.
Bro, little did you know, he was stepping back to charge up the one bang.
So he's retreated, yeah. And as he's retreating, the White Dun's like, this is what I didn't like about the White Dun. He was moving as if like, yeah, I G check.
He'd
like,
won it or something.
He G checked my man to back off. I was just like, bro.
Relax,
I didn't say anything.
man,
I was just like,
relax.
bro, just calm, man. Just go your separate ways and go home. And then, that was basically the beef thing that happened on Tuesday. But yeah, it was fucking jokes, fam.
Would you normally intervene in something like that?
Nah, I'm not usually that sort of person. I can't lie, I'm not usually that sort of person.
So what's changed?
Nah, do you know what I think it was?
I've got a theory.
Do you know what I think it was? I think I knew that white guy was gonna get wrapped.
Cat, bro. You knew that. You saw there was content for the podcast, so you jumped in.
I can't lie. After it happened, yeah, I was like, I can't
oh
wait.
my god.
After it happened,
I can't wait.
After it happened,
bro.
after it happened, I was like, I'm not even gonna tell Fan what this happened. I'm just gonna wait for him to ask, how was your week? And then be like, because it's always you that's having all the fun shit happening in your week. I'm thinking, nigga, am I boring or what, man? I'm thinking, God, you're sending this guy's spirit. Send me something.
And man was willing to get punched out like a light for a story.
Live by the sword, die by the sword, man.
No, but you know what's funny? Remember, I think I said to you on the podcast, like episodes back, I was like, I think us having a podcast is going to force us to take opportunities we wouldn't usually. Because we know next week we're going to talk about what happened in our week, and you're slowly going to want to have less and less dead weeks. Do you get me?
Die for the fans,
so,
man.
bro,
Genuine facts. Follow us on Instagram. We die by the fans.
Hey, bro, be careful though, bro. Don't just start, going around London looking for fights just to speak on.
If I get chinged up, fam. Right, nah. I think a part of it, honestly,
God.
I honestly knew that this White Don was gonna get battered. So I was like, nah,
bro,
that's deep, man.
You know what's joke? Speaking of weeks, bro, you know I met Ed Sheeran.
Fuck off.
I'm joking.
Just let me have 1 week. Just let me have 1 week.
I know.
You saw my face. Oh my god, that is.
Mum was like, no.
That's it. But I mean, you say both.
Did anything else happen?
Other than that,
so that was Tuesday.
Saturday.
Bro, after Tuesday, you just went, fuck it, I'm done. I'm done until next week.
Nah, nothing bad. But Saturday, it was my friend's birthday, so she had like a little just like a day sort of vibe, chill, food, drink, alcohol.
What'd you lot do?
Sort of vibe. So she just had like food, munch, alcohol. She played this. She had this game where it was basically like there was like a table in our garden because our garden's kind of long, and it was like a game where she basically gave us paint and that, and then we all had to draw like a picture, and the picture was of her, and then we all had to basically like draw a picture, and then while you're drawing the picture, just conversating, bantering with people, drinking, Then after we did that, I didn't even do it because I was just catching a vibe. Do you get what I mean? And then and after that, I just turned into like a little garden vibes, music, speakers, drink, just get to know people sort of vibe. But it was hard. But funnily enough, so obviously I was there, but my sister and her sister are in like the same year, and it's obviously my sister was there, innit? And this was like one of like,
okay.
So obviously this one.
Wait, is this the one? Is it the one that's married or not married?
Nah, the one that's my sister.
Oh, wait, I'm being dumb. She's Wales.
Yeah, the one that's like one that's like 2 years older than me.
I'll say that.
Yeah, so she's at the mood with it. So she's at the mood, yeah. And I'm just thinking, alright, cool. I've been to a couple of movies with my sister, but I'm thinking like, bro, like, what? Can I still what the room? You know the vibes there.
Oh my god, yeah, like while she's there.
Yeah. So
wait, actually, bro, opposite to that, yeah. Is it weird seeing like niggas move to her? Because that must have been happening as well.
Not that I saw, because niggas would have got spun.
Right.
But not that I saw.
Especially after Tuesday, you had bear.
Man, calm down, Rusev. Man can take a bit more. You get me?
Oh god. So you're trying to work the room.
So obviously, yeah, you know me, man. When I get a little bit of disser on the dumb, you know, I'm a talkative lad. I'm just talking, just vibing. You know the ones there, but you know the ones you're just vibing. Like, it's not the ones like as we were talking about last week. If you ain't really locked into that one, lock into it. Like you don't always go motives to move things in it. Like sometimes you just want to catch a vibe, chat to people that you ain't really met before, innit?
Bro, this nigga is the king of just accidentally aligning pussy, bro. Man would just calmly have a normal conversation, slip up and boom, hey, man's fucking.
Whoa.
That's true.
No. Consent. Fuck.
No, obviously not that.
You know this is 2021,
no.
man. Niggas can just take that message and think I'm slipping something in. Oh man, consent, guys. Consent is paramount.
I was gonna mention something, but I thought I don't want to get wrapped in that lawsuit if we mentioned.
Oh, right back.
If we mentioned what we saw. But yeah, let's just. The international money swooping in. Hey, word. And you know, for a fact, his dad's got like 20 lawyers working on that one case.
You see that video? You see that video when City get indicted for financial fair play, and then there's just like 50 lawyers around.
I mean, I can't lie, yeah. We actually can't go into it. But it's just something happened today.
Yeah.
That was a bit booky, and we found like something that happened time back, and then we just saw something that.
Yeah, as we move.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah.
so see, man's at the motive. Man's just talking because bearing in mind, like you know, the ones where it's like you got a motive, but it's like obviously it's people's friends from different like points of life. Do you get what I mean? So it's one of them ones where like I didn't know most man there in it, but I kind of like their motive sometimes in it because it forces you to be sociable. Do you get what I mean? So see,
just tired of like the black movies you go to where it's just hella just drill and whining. And
that's just so anti-black because the person was black
so...
and everyone was black at the party. So you're just anti-black. You're just anti-black. And we've had a few of those circumstances on these 9 episodes. We've had a few of those.
Up the Chelsea. I got
niggas gonna marry Babylon. with his Chelsea scarf, man.
Alright, go on. Tell me more about this.
Man's just talking, you know, vibing. You see, you know, just vibing. You know the pat, you know the vibe. and then my sister's like, Toye! I'm thinking,
huh?
My sister, I hear someone scream, Toye! I turn around, it's my sister. I'm like, what the fuck you doing it, man?
Wait, did you not know she was there?
See, I knew she was there. I was like, Toye, you're cramping my style, man. You're cramping my style.
This is jokes.
So obviously, my sister's
she's just a
so my sister's like, oh yeah, like, so like, what are you doing? She was like, why are you talking to my friends? And I was like, what? They're your friends?
Oh,
I was just like, oh, this is long. But yeah, it was just benching. She was like, oh yeah, this is my younger brother. And I was like, no. I was like, now you're just being bad vibes. Like, now you're just being
be real,
bad
yeah.
vibes.
Be real. Were any of them having it?
Nah, it wasn't even a that thing, bro. It was just a friendly thing.
Talking.
Yeah, it was just a friendly thing.
Okay.
But you know, there was you just having fun. Like, why you gonna tell them? Like, why you gonna tell them I'm your younger brother? Like, come on.
But like, it's just to impose it, yeah. Man.
You don't impose shit, man. I'm trying to impose. Anyway, agenda. But yeah, man. Nah, but it was a good vibe anyway. But that was just like something jokes that happened anyway.
I can't. That's
top that nigga.
That's not. So I can't lie. It was a pretty relaxed week. I can't lie. What happened? The only really main thing I can think of is that, like, I ain't seen my nephew and my sister since first lockdown, really, because she was someone that was always at risk in it.
Oh yeah.
Like she's on that, yeah. And then my mum obviously works like for the NHS, so them two could never really mix. Do you get me? So obviously now like things are finally been relaxed. It was the first time I've seen them like, bro, it feels like maybe like less than a year, but close to a year, innit? So obviously like you've probably seen on my like private stories when I'm playing with my nephew on Roblox or whatever. Like, I might screenshot it. So obviously now it's the first time I've seen him in ages, and I usually be like we're on the phone. So just jokes, like just seeing him, like I've seen both of them really, but more so him, like the first time I've seen him in ages, innit? And like he's 9 now, yeah, bro. He's bare. Like, he's kind of mature. Like it just took me by surprise.
What year is what year group are you when you're 9? Is that year 4 or year 5? I feel like it's year 4,
he told me he's going into year 5.
Like,
this week. Yeah, like this week. So yeah, no, I just spent like the weekend with him, really. Both of them, but my sister was more with my mum, and then I was more with him, innit? And then it was just so calm. I can't lie. Like, bro, this Roblox thing has them man in a
spliff, yeah.
But the thing is, like, you know what? Maybe like people of a different generation, like namely like our parents' generation, like, oh man, stop being on the game the whole time. But I get it. Cause like, bro, when
we were
when
part of that generation, small.
Do you get me? So like,
we've tasted
like, I had a different view of it. So then like, he'll come over and we'll just chill, and then I'll just I'll let him play on my laptop. Like he was playing that and Minecraft. I can't lie, yeah. These games are actually mad. Like, so there's I think there's about 40 million games in it, which is mad in itself. And then one of the games he's playing, bro, it's very creative. Like, you have to build a boat. And it's like you build it from scratch, from little like, and you have to like generate money to buy these little blocks and wheels or whatever to make a good boat. And then you launch the boat and you see how it does. And I was thinking, bro, this game is mad.
Yeah.
And then he showed me the boat he made, and I was like, and then because I was playing too, so I was playing on my phone, he was on my laptop. So he made the boat, and then I jumped in the boat, and then we were just like fighting against other people and going across like these different levels. And I was there thinking, I was like, bro, this is engineering. Like, what he's actually made. This is. Whereas someone from a different generation would be like, oh, my days. Yeah, so I was looking at it and I was like, somewhere in this, there is some, like, innovation to it. There's some, like, capacity.
There's skills
genius in a sense. Yeah, I find it very cool because we played many different games on there, like, over the last few months, innit? Bro, I can't lie, yeah. There's one game where like it was the boat thing, yeah, and sometimes like when people see you've got a decent boat, they'll join your team. so someone must have joined our team, yeah, and then one person was the character was a girl, but the way this guy was talking in perfect English, I thought this is not a 9-year-old girl. This is a nut. This is a nut.
This is someone's hunt in the ground.
Word, because bro, like you was joking, yeah, like because I noticed the way that like all the other kids talking it, like instead of like, this is the only way I can play without being a nonce is with my nephew, and that's why I'm playing. So then
Allegedly.
I must have just been like, allegedly did. Bro, more time it's me asking him to play. Like, bro, can you hit Roblox? So then like, I can't lie, bro. The games have just the fact that when we were younger, PS2, you weren't playing online or nothing, to now on a phone you can play with like hundreds of people in these mad games. It's crazy to me. But anyway, so there's this person joins and it's seemingly a girl avatar, and then he's just using perfect English, using apostrophes, and I'm just thinking, bro, I don't think
like
this is a kid, you know?
What? Like, can you think of a sentence that my man used? Like, what was the sentence that you're like, whoa?
I think there was it wasn't even anything like mad significant, but there was one line where he went, "That's okay. You're welcome, X." And
no,
I just thought,
pedo.
I lie. Like I was thinking, bro.
Pedo.
Like, and it was just the way that like everything was grammatically correct, especially that the "you're." Because I was seeing.
True.
Like,
because when you're that age, you don't know the difference between you're, you are, you, sort of a vibe, innit?
Like too tough, innit? Yeah. So then I was just like. So then I just had this guy on my watch, innit? So then obviously just
online interceptors. Oh god.
Like, do you know what? Maybe it was a girl. She's really smart, but I was just like, she's got a weird vibe. But then it just got me thinking. I was like, I wonder how many nonsense are on there.
Bears, bro.
Probably bare, innit? Probably bare.
They could clean up around them days. Around them sides.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's dangerous. But yeah, so over the weekend we did a bit of that, and then like, I'd be in the background, I'd be playing with him or just reading, and then I took him parking it. Bro, and you know when you go out of like a youth, yeah, bro, everyone just assumes you're a young dad, didn't it? Yeah. But then, obviously I didn't mind, innit, because it gets you more
they start saying, oh, how old is he? Oh, when did he start teething? They're just, you know, I just
my boy.
I just like to be a present father, you know. take him out to kick ball, yeah.
So then like we went park, was kicking ball. He said he wants to be a striker, innit? And I might do a little project.
Nah. You need to find a coach. You can't be coaching that kid. I've seen your shots. You don't have shots, bro. You don't have shots, bro. Anyone that listens to this podcast, people that are listening to this, they know you don't have shots, man.
I can't lie, yeah. I have a theory. Obviously, I'll test out when I have a kid, but I can start with him. I have a theory, yeah, that if you give me a child, I'm gonna run away. I'm joking. If you
Oh.
give me if you give me a child, I feel like, and this may be naive in it, but I think I can set a foundation of a type of way of thinking that will make that you successful. I can't lie. I'm gonna try it with him. I can't lie, because he's already said that he wants to be an engineer, innit? I can facilitate that.
Easier said. I think it's easier said than done. Can't lie.
I don't think so. Do you know why? Like, I think it's easier said than done when someone doesn't have the appropriate qualifications.
So you think you do?
100%. One,
You that haven't even had a child yet. How do you know?
I've dealt with people my whole life, and I've dealt with him his whole life. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I think
I hear
these
you,
things,
but there's differences, man.
bro. Let's be real. These things, especially with kids, is two things. It's a matter of influence and a matter of how empathetic you can be to the kid, how understanding. Do you get what I'm saying? To me, that's the two cornerstones that I've seen in successful and non-successful parent-kid relationships, innit? More time, does the kid feel like they're understood? And two, are you able to be an influence to them? If you get them two, there's not much else, really. I don't think it's that hard. It's tricky, don't get me wrong. It's because I think if you like make the effort to stay learned on kids and kid psychology, a lot of this stuff will be easier. But most men don't. So it's always like a game of dice. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like them two it's like, bro, it's like that one like grand chess master. He wrote a book on, I think, how to raise like a grand chess master. One woman read it, they got married, and then they raised grand chess masters. He didn't have no kids before that. Do you see what I'm saying?
But then what if the child doesn't want to be a grand chess master?
But they became that. So I think, bro, more time, yeah, it's like all of this stuff, people will listen to me and be like, oh, you ain't got a kid. Bro, what should I do then? And before that, yeah, like even with my nephew or just anyone that you have the ability to influence, yeah, more time, especially for a guy, they want male role models, innit?
Yeah.
Because more time, when most kids go wayward, it's because that male figure is not present, especially for boys. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, more time for boys, yeah.
Yeah. Like, so I just got me thinking, like, I feel like, this kind of went on a tangent, because over that weekend, over that weekend, I was just noticing, because we was just like, I was obviously with him like the whole time, innit? And we were just doing different things, and I was seeing how he was like reacting to things I would say and whatever, yeah. And then I sometimes feel sorry for kids that are smart, because I feel like if they're not around the right adult, the adult can be threatened by that.
Go on.
Do you know what I'm saying? So like, he asks a lot of questions, innit? Like a lot of questions.
I feel like children do at that age though. They're very curious at that age.
True. But then I feel like the smarter, the more questions there'll be. Because that's why I think someone becomes smart, by asking a lot of questions, innit? So then like, I feel like I've sometimes noticed before with other adults, he may get, what's the word, like, they'll get quickly tired of the questions. Do you get me? And then maybe try and suppress it in a sense. I don't know what tangent I went on, but just to summarize, innit, the 2 days were bare nice, and I just kind of in him saw a younger version of me. But then like I clocked here, the reason why this sounds bare, no, it's calm. The reason why this sounds bare like I'm waffling is because there are certain things I can and can't say.
Yeah,
obviously.
I hear that.
Yeah, but I think the sentiment I can say is that it's mad that I'm at a state where I've clocked, even with other friends here, there are certain cycles that breed in families. Like dysfunction breeds dysfunction, and I've noticed it. And then like I realized while he was at like my yard, I was like, raw, I'm in a position where there are certain things that he's going through that I've been through, and it's mad that I'm in a position to now be a male role model to him. I find that crazy. Like, it's mad how life works.
The cycle happening again, something like that.
Yeah. So and then like I've even got a friend. Obviously, I won't say names, but like, he like grew up with his mum, but his dad went in the picture, and then like I think a few years ago, so he's my age, isn't it? Then like a few years ago, his mum was like with someone else, and I had a child, but then that dad also wasn't present, and then. My friend is kind of like the male role model, the main male role model in that youth's life, innit? And then yesterday I was sitting back and I was sleeping, I was like, bro, that's another cycle.
Yeah.
But now my friend's in a position
To try and break
to
it.
be the male role model. Yeah, that wasn't there for him. And I thought that was kind of crazy,
Yeah.
innit? And it like, do you have any? Because you're the youngest, innit?
Yeah.
Do you have any like younger nephews or like? Did your older sister have any kids yet or not?
Yeah. I got a nephew. Got one.
But that took you a minute, bro.
What do you mean? What do you mean? You asked me the question like 10 seconds ago. Fuck off.
Wait, so like, he's quite young, innit?
Yeah, he's like. I swear I answered this question like a couple of weeks ago. He's like, Jesus, fuck me. He's just gone past 3. Yeah, he's good. He's like 3 in like a couple of months. Yeah.
You was doing the most arithmetic.
Yeah, in my head, yeah. But
carrying
at
twos and
but at the back of my head, I was thinking, fuck, if I take too long, I'm gonna look like a fucking idiot.
No, because I can't lie, it's calm because, bro, like, it took for a while. I kept saying for like 2 years I said that my nephew was 7. Then I clocked, oh shit, now
he's been getting older, nigga.
Word. Like, I don't know. I think through him, I saw an opportunity to, like, I know this might sound like a reach, but to connect with my younger self.
No, that makes sense. Nah, that's not a reach. It's not a reach at all.
Yeah, because there are certain things that he's saying that I was saying back then.
And you know the reason why you were saying that.
Exactly. Whereas the people around him don't necessarily really get what he's saying. Whereas he'll say something, I'll be like, damn, like, yo, I was saying that same shit.
Yeah, I know the thoughts you're having.
Yeah, so it's just funny that life works in that way.
I hear you.
Yeah, like, but anyway, so that was basically the weekend, and obviously when he left, it was bare sad. Like, bro, it's just like
for the weekend sort of vibe, innit?
Yeah, and then so then on like the Saturday, which is bare calm. Obviously, like, we chilled. Like, he's playing Roblox in Minecraft. Then took him to the park, and then we watched this film at night time, innit? Obviously, man's working.
This guy's a cash earner, man.
Yeah,
would you buy this? Would you buy this week?
I can't like, bro, you know, just I deeped here. I ordered food twice in a day.
My nigga,
for all of us, innit? And then
provider,
she's like, no,
pool bridges.
Like, my mom, but my mom obviously earns like way more than me, innit? And then she was like, it's calm, this and that. But I was like, it's alright.
It's calm, man. It's on me, man. Obviously, pat the family this week. Last week, you patted in P10. You giving them a little present for the younger one. Yeah. This guy's a cash out. When's my week, innit? Episode 10. Bro, what are you gonna buy me? Will you surprise me, baby? Jokes, yeah? Pause.
You know what's jokes? Yeah, so then, like, the second meal was pizza, innit? The first one was Chinese and the second one was pizza. And then we were watching this film called...
You fat cunt.
So then we were watching this, like, film on Netflix, innit? And I was just like, bro, like... Again, I don't want to speak too soon because a lot of men are probably going to say I'm naive and whatever. But I feel like if you make yourself into a patient person, dealing with kids isn't hard. I think it's only hard when you're not patient. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're skipping the hardest thing about the whole process, becoming a patient person.
True. No, wait. Who's skipping that? Me?
Yeah, because you said if you become a patient person, you say it like it's very easy. It's not. Otherwise, everyone would be patient. No. A lot of people are very...
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I've done the work to become a more patient person than I was before.
How'd that work out? Not even being sarcastic. How'd that work out?
No, but I'm evidently a lot more patient than I used to be, and I see it manifest in things like this, like times when I was younger, where like when I was dealing with him, or just other people in general, where I'd maybe get annoyed. I don't really get that annoyed no more. I'm more understanding of the situation, and I noticed it with him. Like, even there was times when he'll be doing something. Like, there was one time here where he's just walking around, he's just making noises, just bare noises. And then I remember when I was younger, I might get in trouble for that. But then for me, I was like, bro, it's a fucking you.
Yeah, like
his brain is way.
Yeah, like big.
His brain is way smaller. Like deep it. He's not an adult. He's a kid. His brain is literally way smaller. There are certain centers that still haven't developed. So for me to, I feel like better adults expect the you to act like an adult, and it don't make no sense. Do you get me? But yeah, no, it's just bare good vibes, isn't it? And
do you feel as if parents should have to do like some sort of like, I don't know, class, like it's a law that they have to do some sort of like class or training before they have a child?
I would love that. I think it'd go a long way. Like, just certain technique, because you know there are some parents here, like, I'm not gonna say there's a direct link between the like wealth of a parent, but maybe there is a link in terms of how wealthy someone is and the resources that they have the access to.
No, that's facts. That's not even correlation. That's causation, man. That's facts.
But it's because for my next bit, I don't want to like this isn't necessarily the case because like I was gonna be like certain people will buy bare parenting books, like bare, and then read bare of them. Whereas, bro, most parents don't read any. Do you get what I'm saying? That's it. And it's like, bro, you wouldn't like buy.
God.
You wouldn't buy like a new appliance and not get a manual for it. So why is it when you have a kid you think you can just wing it?
Yeah, I hear that.
Like do you know how complex a child is? Like it's certain things like that I don't really understand. But then you know what? It's because
maybe you're not there yet as well. You need to remember that you're not there yet.
What?
As in, like, you're not there yet. You haven't experienced it yet.
Experienced what? Parenthood.
Yeah, you haven't.
But
so
bro,
there's some things that you are naive to a bit.
Bro, my point stands regardless. I'm saying that they should read books beforehand. That has nothing to do with having a kid. That's me saying they should prep more. There's no instance where that statement is wrong. Do you get what I'm saying? Like someone can't go, listen, when you're a parent, your clock, don't read any books.
I hear you, but at the same time, it's like there could be other things that's happening in their lives where, you know, it sounds harsh, but they might not have the time. They may not think like, it's as useful as like doing that. Maybe there's a trade-off between doing that and earning money, and they're thinking the kid's gonna need money. So I'm just playing devil's advocate a bit.
I hear that. Like I agree that a lot of men, and that's the problem in a sense. That's the main issue. I feel like that a lot of men don't prioritize understanding the mental of the child as a high priority. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The things that are prioritized are, bro, I don't know how this got so serious, but
you have your lives together. Yeah. That's what they want, innit?
Bro, do you know? I say this is what they want. I say, alright, go.
They had enough of my monkey clapping. Had enough. They don't want it. It's fine. We can be mellow. We can be serious.
Bro, I don't know. I don't know. I think you're right though. There's definitely a lot of things I'm naive to.
But don't get me wrong. You have what you're saying is true. Don't get me wrong. It's true. I'm just playing devil's advocate sometimes.
And bro, I can't lie. Yeah. Again, I'm not gonna go too into it, but I feel like my life experience pertaining to matters of children is more than most people, but not in a nice way. I'll put it in that sense. Do you get what I'm saying?
I hear you, but this nigga loves a good parable, doesn't he?
No, but
he loves a good parable.
Bro. I'm not gonna sit here and then just be like dish out my life.
No. I'm not expecting you to.
You get me? But it's a thing where it's like, if you wanna find out more about life, you probably go to someone that's seen more hardship in a certain extent, because they'll have more. Because deep it, when someone, and I think you'll agree with this, because I know that you've gone through certain hardships as well. When you go through a hardship, your brain is on high alert. You're now taking in way more data than a normal person would be, because you're anxious in a sense. Do you get me? So I feel like, in terms of, especially when you've been an anxious child, or you've had little bouts of it or whatever, for whatever background reason, you're then going to be, if you get over it, going to be very versed in how the negatives of a mind can work, as opposed to someone that's just had it plain sailing. Do you get me?
Yeah.
And then you'll be in a position to then possibly make it easier for someone else, or be able to spot the signs of someone else going through it. Do you get me?
Yeah.
It's just kind of that. But do you ever think about kids? Because if you do, you're a nonce. I'm checking out. But do you actually ever?
Says the guy that plays Roblox 24/7.
But
it's so crazy, Roblox, man. There's so many games you can play.
I can't lie, but it's sick though. I can't lie. But go on. Do you ever think about, especially in the wake of our guy, innit? Like of our guy, like about to have a kid? Has it not? Because it pops into my. It's been popping into my mind recently, innit? And then kind of got backed when I saw my nephew.
I think a bit. I wouldn't say like enough to be like it's on my mind, but like passing moments, yeah. But I wouldn't say on my mind, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So like, let's say if you see something and then you can be like, oh yeah, that's cool. That's something I'd want to do with like a child when I have a child, or like if you just see something that's like linked to like I don't know children, you'd be like, oh, That's nice. Like just like passing moments, sort of a thing.
Wait, so then, what age do you think? Like you be like, okay, that's an age that I'd be calm with having kids by then.
Now, when it happens, it happens.
Nah, okay, I'll rephrase it.
But I don't think it's happening anytime soon for me.
I don't
think it's happening anytime soon for me. I don't think it's happening anytime soon for me. But when it's your time, it's your time. But I don't think my time's anytime soon. As in just the way I am. I know myself, innit?
Bro, you're making it sound like you're gonna die.
No, I'm not in a committed relationship.
In that headspace,
do you know what I mean? And I'm not in that headspace, and I'm not in a committed relationship, and I'm not really in the streets like that. So it's not really happening. Unless I'm putting in one artificial egg or something like that. It's not happening.
What's it? On a tangent, yeah. Should we? Because I had this conversation with my friend. I was on the phone to him, and like the conversation that eventually emerged, it kind of made me think of a conversation that we could have.
Yeah, go on.
But I'm thinking, do you remember that the thing I messaged you and you were like, oh, it ties into Live with T. So do you think would it be better for me to go into that now than Live with T, or Live with T then go into it? Do you know what I love about the show? We're so bare bones. Like the listener literally sees us make decisions.
We don't really plan, if I'm being honest with you. We literally don't. Like, I literally messaged Fanuel. Let me get my phone. I messaged this guy like. Most time we don't even plan when we are gonna bloody record. Like this guy messaged me yesterday saying, "Oh, we still recording tomorrow." I was thinking like, "Nigga, how are we gonna bring out episode if we ain't recording?" I think I even messaged this guy like, I messaged you at like 6 saying, "Got anything you want to talk about?"
Yeah,
we started recording at like 7:30.
Bro, it's a mess.
But you know, sometimes it's better if you just freestyle. I feel as if we're better when we freestyle anyway, or have like one or two things you want to talk about, then just freestyle with the rest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it feels more natural. So wait, do you wanna? Should we do Live with T first, then segue into that?
Yeah, we can go with Live with T.
Alright, calm. What's it, bro? You know, I've been missing something bare.
Oh, what news and that?
News and
you know my thing set. You know how my thing set.
But where can I go to hear the news of the week, man?
You know how my thing set. You know how my thing set. Oh, see, Live with T. You know what I'm saying? You been liking the thing. You know what I'm saying? You been liking the thing. So I'm gonna give you a little.
Hey, the ones when you have to make bare sounds while you're trying to find the.
Oh no! Advert! Fuck off, Galaxy Chocolate. Oh, it's 10 seconds long.
And you can't even skip it.
Adverts. We big time now. Adverts. We big time now. That was Galaxy UK. La 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 Fuck it, man. But yeah, man, it's been a good week. To be fair, I just had like a quick look through stuff, just to keep everyone updated. I actually saw today, over 25s can sign up to get their vaccines done now. So if you're 25 plus and you ain't got your vaccine and you actually want your vaccine, you can actually get that done. So, run that up and get Pfizer up, you get me? What else did I see? Amar... Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my guy messaged me and I said his name out loud. My brother Amari. But I didn't mean to say that. Meghan and Harry had their second kid, another girl.
They were not fucking.
Yeah, but I feel as if with like royals, they get you to fuck like dogs in it because they need offspring for the royal family, innit?
Bro, but do they even need them?
Yeah, they don't need them anymore, so they just fucking because they're starving.
You know what? That check cleared, so man's just been deep in their guts for the last year.
Nigga ain't gonna work. But yeah, I saw that they named the baby Lilibet Diana Mountbatten Windsor. So they named the little girl after Queen Lizzie and Harry's mum Diana.
Mountbatten.
Mountbatten. Oh, see what the mad thing is? They can say all them names there, but when it comes to saying something like, man, not even trying to say my government surname, but you know,
I knew.
man's not even trying to say my thing. In case you man try searching me on Google or LinkedIn or something.
Bro, wait, okay, you know what? I feel like we need to address this weird state of So okay, if they Google you, then what? What's gonna happen?
My government.
What? Even though they're listening to you on a pod, so they can listen to you speak.
Name. You can know my name. You don't need to know my gov. What the hell? Fuck. Why do you need that information?
Wait.
You're not gonna call me Toye. You're even lucky you're getting my first name. Fucking hell.
That's not his last name, by the way, guys. Like, he's not.
You're so anti-black, man. You know what? You're the sort of people that I'm gonna be talking about in live with too. You anti-blacks.
Go on.
Oh yeah, but obviously, so
Well, who's that? Is that like the wife of the Uncle Blacks? Or who's that? You said what did you say?
Have you noticed how I purposely didn't say anything? I didn't laugh. I didn't clap. I didn't do my usual because it wasn't funny. Because it wasn't funny.
Anti-black.
Oh, you know what? I didn't get it.
I knew it.
I went on your frequency.
Go, bro.
Nah. Decent.
Alright, go.
So
tell me how I'm a racist.
So obviously, if you didn't know, but you probably do know, but obviously the Euros are starting this Friday 11th. So, but yeah, actually going off on a tangent, you know what, bro? I feel as if this summer could be a summer for the ages, man.
Hey, fuck off. Do you know why, yeah?
Why is it fuck off? What did I do?
No. Do you know what? I think, hopefully Lewis is listening to this, yeah?
Go on.
In the first lockdown, I said, bro, I think when they finally get all this over, I think going out is going to be the maddest thing ever because people have been pent up for so long that it's just going to be the maddest. And everyone was like, "Nah, I don't think it'll be that deep."
I think it can go one or two ways. I think people can be like, "Oh my god, I'm starving. I'm finally out. Let me run loose." Whether that's with things, whether that's like going out, whether that's just doing the most. But you can get them people, yeah, that they ain't really been out, yeah. Maybe they're introverted, yeah.
So that's socially anxious.
And then now they're just bare socially anxious because they haven't been in social settings for the last year and a half. I think it can go one or two ways, bro.
But then I think that's what juice is for.
True.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because let's be real, most men drink at events because they have some level of anxiety.
Yeah.
Even if it's small.
Yeah.
Do you get because if you see people go, "Oh, it just loosens me up." Wait, so why can't you do that
already?
Nigga off the juice?
Yeah, why you tight already?
Exactly. But yeah, man, go on.
Yeah, but yeah, so obviously, I feel as if this summer might just be a gun. Obviously, Euros, weather's been looking good.
Crazy.
Love Island. People are just gonna be out and about because they're free. You're gonna have your vaccine, so you can be licking anything and be fine. Whatever you want to lick. But yeah, I just feel as if it has it's giving me 2018 summer vibes. You know how when there was World Cup coming home and Love Island. I feel as if it's gonna be replicated, but it might even be on a higher level because
bigger
of
level
lockdown and that. Even me, fam. Man's even trying to buy my England top. So when the Three Lions come on the TV, man's got my hand on the crest. You know, like that, fam.
Wait, actually no, I was about to say something stupid.
Yeah.
Go on, no, man.
Yeah, you know that was,
bro. You know, I was about to ask. Oh my god, I was about to ask. Did Nigeria qualify? And I got this out of Euros.
You just don't watch ball, man. This guy's a football podcast.
No, because you know what? I was gonna call you a coon, innit?
When England plays, I'm a coon, man. When England plays, I'm a coon, man. Nigga, fam. 2018 World Cup, fam. Flipping. I think for England Colombia, I was in the pub.
A man was racially abusing.
You fucking nigga! Get off
and then the white guy see you. Well, he said, yeah, he's a nigga.
Yeah, he is one, isn't he? I even get them to call me Tom instead of Toye.
Oh my.
I'm Josie. I'm Jake.
Nah, you're not, bro. There's no way.
I do white face.
50-year problem. I was saying Tom. Yeah, I'm Tom. Yeah.
You're right. All us, man. Yeah.
Wait, BLM? Nah,
SWLM.
Nah.
SWLM. But agenda. But funny enough, that actually swoops into what I wanted to talk about actually. So all seriousness aside, so basically, Gareth Southgate was I think like before the first friendly that they had, they were I think he got asked the question about like players taking the knee and if they're gonna like take the knee like during the friendlies and during the Euros, innit? And then he basically said that like we all spoke about it as a team and we've decided like we're gonna stand in like solidarity like with our black players that are playing like within like the Euros, and that we've said that this isn't like the political standpoint where we're fundamentally doing this because like black players are getting abused on social media for like no reason. Just if they have a bad game and they're black, they're getting abused. So we want to kind of like take this like as a time to like stand with them, rare-tear. So obviously, man said that, and then I think like the day after, I think England played Romania. I'm not sure. England played Romania in Middlesbrough. So this was in England, and then when like the players knelt down, just bare boos in it. Damn. So there was bare boos. Bearing in mind like there's black players on the pitch. I think Bellingham was on the pitch. Tyrone Mings was on the pitch, who's like an ambassador for like one sort of black movement they're doing in the Premier League. Like I think Kyle, he wasn't on the pitch, but there were black players on the pitch and they're booing, innit?
Yeah.
So obviously after that interview, after that game, Gareth Southgate's gone into like post-match interview, and he was like, "Yeah, we heard the booing. We weren't really happy. Like we just want to reiterate that this isn't the political standpoint that some people associate with like BLM. This is us just literally like standing together as a team just to show that we're not for racism and we're not for like our black players being attacked on social media and being like just discriminated in life in general." So he was like, if you're still gonna boo, then just know, he basically said, if you're still gonna boo, just know you're booing because we're standing up for racism and it's not the political stuff, innit? So obviously England played yesterday, same stadium, same place, players booed again, innit?
Booed again.
I think Rashford was playing, Sancho was playing, Mings was playing again, Lingard was playing the first game, Bellingham was playing, Godfrey was playing, that guy's got black in him. So obviously I was just thinking to myself, yeah, like this whole first what I wanted to go into, there were two things I wanted to go into. I was gonna first go into so sometimes like, I'm thinking of it like this, yeah, alright, cool. If I'm Rashford, if I'm Rashford, especially if I'm Sterling, Rashford, I've done all this stuff for the kids. I'm feeding the kids, and I'm not just feeding black kids. I'm feeding white kids. I'm feeding you man's kids. I'm not trying to segregate the thing, but I'm feeding you man's kids. I'm feeding all the kids that are poor. I'm feeding the kids in poverty-stricken places.
Wait. Who was booing? Was it the Romanian fans or something?
England fans were booing, bro. England fans were booing because it was in England.
Right.
England fans were booing. So obviously, if I'm Rashford, I'm thinking.
Oh, that's
I'm thinking.
mad.
If I'm Rashford,
That's mad.
I'm not saying what he's doing is transactional in anything, but if I'm Rashford, I'm thinking, bro, I fucking busted my gut here. I didn't have to do all of that food stuff, like food schmooze. I didn't have to do all of that stuff. I did that out of the kindness of my heart. Not saying it's transactional, but I'll be thinking, bro, do I want to play for this country? And then earlier today, yeah, I looked at the 26-man team, yeah, and I was thinking, how many brothers or niggas do we have in this team, innit? Man was good.
I said brothers or niggas.
Man was good for the team. I was thinking Sterling, Rashford, Bellingham, Sancho, Mings, Calvert-Lewin, Saka, Reece James. Didn't even go to the mixed race sheets. Ben Godfrey, Reece James, Calvin Phillips. That nigga's Jamaican, you know. Calvin Phillips got Jamaican in it. Trippier.
Wait.
Trippier's dad's black, fam.
how many man from that 2016?
I don't know. I didn't do numbers in it. Bro, I stopped counting at like 8, 10 in it. I was just thinking.
It sounded like
I was just thinking, if I was one of these players, yeah, I'll just be like, bro, like these men clearly don't care about me. They don't care about like what I've come for, what I'm doing. These men will really only care about me unless I'm sticking the ball in the net like a good monkey. And like, so I was just thinking that, bro, like if you were one of them players, yeah, one, how would you feel? And two, would you play for England in the Euros if they were booing like that whilst you were playing?
See, it's so complicated because on one side, the first thing you initially think is what that I think is, oh, yeah, you know what, I fuck them, I shouldn't play because they're saying this stuff, but that's what they want. If they've won, if black players stop playing for England, they've won in a sense. Do you get what I'm saying?
They haven't. England will lose.
No.
What pace and power do they have?
No.
I'm bad with it.
Oh, you know, like grand scheme of things, yeah. So then, because deep at Rashford, he's not feeding adults, he's feeding kids. So clearly his thinking is next generational, isn't it? And I think it's the same with like all of this BLM stuff, all of this movement stuff is for the next generation, isn't it? For this one.
Yeah.
This those man booing are done for. Only minor changes can really happen in their thinking, especially towards black people and like where they feel like they should and shouldn't be in society. But I feel like as a player, you know, I can't like it pissed me off to the extent where I'd want to play even more. Some people may say I'm misguided, but I feel like if the end goal for these people that have started this movement is complete cohesion and mixing between the two, to evacuate all the black people from the national team would not be the answer. But I feel like a lot of black... Do you remember that rant that never went live? That very first episode of Views from the Stands.
We're going to go into that a little bit later. Don't watch that.
And remember what I said about Zaha?
Yeah, well, I was going to speak about that in a bit.
He's the type of guy that... You see how Southgate... So I didn't personally see the press conference, but from the way that you described it, when he was like, we just want to stand with the players. So he'd be against that, essentially. Do you get what I'm saying? Certain man like that, to me personally, misguided. Personally, you know. But then we'll go more into it after, because I also have like a conversation I had with a friend that like consist or that involved this racism stuff and where we draw the line as black people, and then possibly how black people themselves may not even understand truly what racism actually is and where the lines are drawn, which is why you have certain black men that are hella misguided.
All right.
Do you get me?
I don't get you, but go
like,
on.
Wait, so I feel like bare man have probably felt racism, but maybe don't necessarily understand what racism is.
When you say people, what people are you talking about?
Even black people, obviously more so white people, but you do have, and I've noticed it, quite a lot of black people that think purely because they're black, they inherently have an understanding exactly of what racism is. Bro, there's a whole degree for this. Like, people actually go and study for 4 years to fully understand the dynamics of racism and these like hierarchy structures. Do you get me? So for someone like an average person to just obviously understanding, yeah, you do get some sort of racism towards you, but then to then go on a limb and be like, I know what racism is, I know where it starts and ends, I think is bare naive. And that's why hella man are confused on what racism is, because the man them that are supposed to know what racism is don't actually know what it is.
Alright. Do you want to go into your example that you were talking about? Alright.
So so me and Shane are on the phone, innit? Or Shane and I were on the phone, and like he just asked me, he's like, so him and his colleagues were having like a conversation at work, and it was like just something along the lines of like, he was asking me, where do you draw the line of like them jokes? You know, them like them kind of like
yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So then he was asking me like, where do you draw the line? And then like, what do you define as race? This and that. And I kind of said to him, well, it's hard, isn't it? Because I think it's an individual thing, and it starts with whether or not you feel offended.
Yeah.
And it's tricky because something that wasn't necessarily seen as racist 5 years ago
could be seen as
is
racist
now. And I think that's going to continue to just expand. Things that aren't necessarily racist now, in 5 years will probably. And it got me thinking. I was like, well, it's like
you regulating it is hard in them sort of situations.
Yeah, and I think it's key that you use the word regulation, isn't it? So people that aren't of color look to people of color as the metric to what and what isn't racist, innit? But then how many people of color are actually like educating themselves on what racism is? Maybe reading books on it, or like, because it's one thing to have felt racism, it's another to actually understand it. Because deep it, we're now, and not everyone has to be in this position. Like, it's not your obligation to teach white people, innit? But in a sense, with racism, for ourselves at least, I think we need to actually go and get more information to understand what racism is. Because, bro, I don't think even me and you know what racism is. Actually.
I hear what you're saying. I do hear what you're saying. I do hear what you're saying. But let's not forget, yeah, like, if someone's like racist to you, it's not black and white, innit? It's not this is racist, this ain't racist. It's more down to your feeling. Like, if you feel hurt from what someone has said to you, or you feel offended to what someone has said to you, yeah, like, you have the right to be like, that's racist. In my opinion, I feel like you do. But then therein lies the problem, because feelings are subjective. Exactly. So what is racist? But it's a very complex thing. So that's something, that's the issue. So what is racist, or what feels racist to one person might not be racist to someone else, yeah, to another. And then we have to ask the question, so whose opinion do we listen to? Because if we give it to someone, go on. You go. I was gonna say, if we give it to someone that's hypersensitive, then everything is. If we give it to someone that's too ignorant, then nothing is. Yeah. And like, surely you'd try and give it to someone who has spent time learning what it looks like as a concept and the structures within it, as opposed to acting from a place of pure emotion. Because then it's hard to draw lines. Yeah, but this topic is, you can't be drawing lines on that. Because what someone says to me, yeah, I might not get offended. But if someone says it to someone else, they may get offended. It's a very subjective thing. So it's just, me personally, yeah, how I see it, yeah, if you're not coloured, like, if you're white, just don't get involved, like, with them sort of things. So funnily enough, so like, my friend, he's speaking like with them sort of jokes. They're white, innit? Yeah. So they're white, and he was basically like, his stance was, sorry, I'm itching my eye. 1 sec, bro. Hay fever sufferers know when you itch your eye, yeah, this thing is gassing. Oh my god, this feels so good. 1 sec. Yeah. So he's speaking to his colleague who are white, and I think he must have like I think my friend had heard certain statements that are just a bit like, they're on the edge. He personally wasn't offended, and sometimes found them funny, but he was like, in this day and age, he's like, some of that could be seen as on the line. Yeah. And then that colleague was like, you know what? It's a thing where if someone ever expressed to me that like it was offending him, then he would stop. What colour was the guy? Or like, he's white. Yeah, me personally, if you're white, don't get involved in them jokes. Me personally, because do you know how I see it? I've got an example. I'm an old job, yeah. Wait, bro. Someone's ringing my. Are your crib? Are you editing this, or am I just gonna talk? Sorry guys, it's unprofessional. Man, this guy's so fucking nuts, bro. It's probably one kid he got from Roblox or something, you know, like that. Niggas pretending he didn't know, man. I'll cut this out. Let me see what the timestamp is. Nah, don't cut out. Agenda. No defamation of character around it. You know what? I'll leave this in then, because if you're talking 1 hour 23. But yeah, so obviously I'll give you an example with it. So obviously at my old job, yeah, it was like most of the people that were white in it, but then there was like a group of like 5 of us. You know how there's always a few ethnics around in it. So obviously there was like a group of like 5 of us, and we're like within one team there was like 3 of us in it. Me, who was a black guy, there was one like Chinese guy, and then like one Asian brother in it. Like he was like, I think he was like Indian in it. So like us 3, because like we were kind of close just because of the common ground of like, we're kind of like the only really ethnic guys in our team, sort of a vibe in it. And they were like all from London, so like they were like everyone was calm, like, you know what it is, in it. So like them man that had the smelly lunches, in it. You man, your lunch. You're so anti-black.
I'm joking.
I know you. Agenda. But say for example, like us three, because like we all have like we're all like I don't like using the word colours, but we're all of colour, yeah, and like we all have certain stereotypes associated with our colour, yeah.
So it's a certain shared experience.
It's a certain shared experience. Like even though our hardships are different, we all have some sort of hardship and stereotype that like others or like white people associate with us, innit?
Cool.
Yeah. So obviously it's one of them ones where like obviously because like we're all like people of colour, yeah, and we all have certain stereotypes associated with us, innit? And because like we know that, say for example, like like my man, like let's say if like there's chicken or something, man will run a chicken joke on me or something like that, innit? Them man will run a chicken joke, or say for example there was like a Chinese spot like near where we used to work, innit? So then we'd be like, hey yo bro, you're gonna see your dad today, like just something like that, like you know them light jokes there, innit? But like it's because we all know them stereotypes, but we all know that there's certain things that we cannot say. Do you get what I mean? Like I'm not gonna go to my man and make like a Muslim orientated joke about like I don't know, like terrorism or something like that. I wouldn't make that sort of joke. Same way my man wouldn't make a joke about like slavery. Do you get what I mean? But then say for example, now if you get like a white person involved in this year, like what joke can you say to them? Like what sort of bad stereotype does a white person have that you can like banter them about? There isn't one.
They don't have bad stereotypes, but they have like things that you see. You know when like black comedians will make skits about white people?
Yeah.
There are certain stereotypes they always use.
Like what? Like give me an example.
So you know that are probably similar level to like the jokes that you'd make about a black person and chicken, innit? So some would be like, I think the common ones I see are white people not like having no rhythm. There's another one.
Man, come on, man. That's not even an insult.
No, but neither is the chicken thing.
Yeah, but you could like, you know, you see the way like the word chicken, the thing like, oh, like you might just love chicken. Like I feel as if that's a negative stereotype, innit? Or
like speaking of food, you know how like everyone goes, they never season their food or whatever.
I hear that, but it's like, is that really like?
So then you know what I would then ask. So speaking of the jokes that you lot made to each other, because obviously like you're all ethnics and whatever. So can a white person now come and make that chicken joke or not?
No.
Because that's racist.
Nah, me personally, I wouldn't call it racist. I wouldn't.
This is what I mean.
I wouldn't call it racist, but it's a thing where
about the lines.
But it's a thing where alright, cool. You can banter me on that, but what can I banter you on? Like, what negative stereotype is there about white people in society? There ain't. So they can't really get involved in that banter.
So it's a trade-off.
It's a trade-off, bro. You have that privilege, so you can't get involved in this banter.
It's either you get oppressed or you don't get to.
Yeah.
That's
fundamentally, yeah. That's what it is, bro. And most of them do understand that, but some of them think that they can tap in and tap out. Like, it's not an Oyster card, bro. You don't chill a little in and chill a little out.
Do you know what I do think it's just very confusing though, just as a whole, because there's stuff now that there are certain jokes that we make now with each other that probably in 10 years people will say that we can't even make them jokes to ourselves.
Nah, you can't be an outsider and moderate what I say to my community and people like me. That it just doesn't work like that. That's absolutely ridiculous. I agree. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Have you seen that video? I think it's like they're on the news, and then one white guy saying, "Why can't white people say the N-word?"
Oh, just shut up.
And then like the black guy goes, "And say it then." Say it then. Have you seen that one? I send it to you. No, say that.
We're gonna push down the Insta.
Bro, he goes. He literally goes. Like he looks at me. He goes, "Say it then." If it's comfy, say it then. And obviously,
black guy's got a gun in his pocket or something.
Bro, the guy, like, obviously the white guy was bugging in it, but I just found it funny. I think the fascination with the word is that it's something that they know they aren't allowed to say and they can't help it.
But they can't help it. Yeah.
Like But you know what it is? It's that colonialism, and they need to own everything, and it jars them, and there's a little piece of intellectual property that they can't.
But flipping onto my second point, yeah. So obviously with all that kneeling, you know how it is. People are booing. Obviously, I think that's wrong. But anyway,
actually, wait. Can I address something that you said, because I didn't really understand it when you were talking about Southgate? You was like how, because you said this twice. That made me think you stressed it. He was like, we're not part of the political movement. I thought they're one and the same.
That's what I was gonna go into. You know how people, so you know how with BLM, yeah, you know how like at first it was kind of like Black Lives Matter, anti-racism, and then obviously with the protests, people were saying, me personally, hey, I think this is what I was gonna get into later in it, but I feel as if people are kind of looking for a reason to not wanna be on the side of racism. So now what they're saying, is, it's become political, and now it's become political. Why should I have like right-sided views, but then support a left-sided movement? Do you get what I mean? Because now a lot of people are saying, because BLM was hijacked in quotations, people started vandalizing like Churchill statues. People started saying defund the police. People started like protesting against police. People started saying, like get rid of the government because they're institutionally racist. Now people are starting to say that the movement is not an anti-racism movement. It's now a political movement, and you can't force political views down me. Like that's what they're trying to say. But how I see it, me personally, I think it's a thing where people, but it's like, bro, if you want to be racist and say that you hate black people, just say it with your chest, bro. I won't mind. In fact, I even prefer them sort of racist, because now I can look you in the eye and be like, you're racist. Like, just stay away from me, fam. Like, don't try and use the whole thing of it's political, it's this, it's that, it's not my political views, because it's very easy to separate a political view than the actual view. Do you get what I mean? Like, say for example, like Remembrance Day, yeah? Like, a lot of people can separate the political view with Remembrance Day than the view of just like remembering people that have fallen in war. Do you get what I mean? Otherwise, people wouldn't do that minute of silence. Do you get what I mean? So you can clearly separate like remembering people that have died in war, rightly so, because they've given their lives, to the political like view of wearing poppies. Do you get what I mean? So why can't you do the same for Black Lives Matter? You're just racist. Just say it. Just own it. If you're racist, just own it, bro. It's clearly, you know it's wrong, but you're like, I'm a racist anyway. You get me? So it's just one of them ones, isn't it? Just one of them ones.
I don't really see how it's I struggle to see how it's a political issue. I feel like this is more of a humanitarian.
It's not, bro. But niggas, man, niggas, you know, they just want a reason not to help us, man.
While you were saying that, yeah, I thought I'd Google percentage of deaths in police custody in England and Wales between 2008 to 9 and 2018. So basically like 2000. So like the last 10 years, bar the last 3. So 2008 to 2018. Because then I was gonna say it's a humanitarian issue if anything. Because niggas are getting killed at a disproportionate rate, which is what kind of sparked all of those protests and whatever. So okay, so there's 2 metrics I'll give you for each ethnicity. So percentage of deaths in custody and then percentage of population. Yeah. So don't be misled. You have to think about what I'm saying in it. So obviously the majority of people in this country are white, obviously, by a mad amount. So 86% of the population is 86% of the population is white. 85% of the deaths in custody are white. So that's quite proportionate.
Yeah, it should be proportionate. So yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah. With black people, 3% make up the population, but there's 8% of deaths in custody. Yeah, that's almost double.
If you're looking like percentage wise, isn't it? We're not looking absolute. We're looking relative. Do you know what I mean?
The proportion. Yeah. So this backs up my point about a lot of this stems from the disproportionate killing of black people in prison, innit? And this literally backs it. So because with the white population, there's 86%. So let's say there's 100% of deaths, yeah, of people in custody, innit? and there's like 100% of the population. So 86% of the population are white. Obviously makes sense. 85% of the deaths are white. That's proportionate.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Then there's an extra 3% for the black population, but then an extra 8% for their deaths. That's doubly disproportionate. And if you go to the Asians, it's the inverse. They make up 8% of the population, but only 3% of the deaths in custody. Do you get what I'm saying? And then mixed is equal to 2%, other 1%, 1%. So there's clearly a disproportion when it comes to black people. In terms of like, I don't know. I think it's exactly what you said. They're just looking for a reason to bow out of it.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
And I expected that from people that weren't of color, because fair enough. But then when I see black people using that same rhetoric, I'm just like, bro.
You're talking about Zaha, innit? Nah, but I can't lie. Did you actually listen to like my man's interview and hear man's quotes?
I did.
Nah, did you actually though? Because when you like on surface value, yeah, it sounds like he's cooning in it. But when you actually listen to my man's reasons why, yeah, I hear where he's coming from.
Bro, a nigga can have the smartest way to be confused. He's still confused.
Alright, cool.
Book.
I knew you were gonna do this, so I brought out some quotes.
Yeah, go on.
Cool. So my man basically said, yeah, there is no right or wrong position for me personally. I feel taking the knee has just become a part of a pre-match ritual, and at the moment, it doesn't matter whether we kneel or stand. Some of us still continue to receive abuse. That's just one quote I got in it. Another one was,
wait, can I reply to them each one? Like, so after you say one, then I'll reply to why I think he's still confused, as opposed to having to address it at the very end.
Yeah, go on.
Do you get me?
Go on.
So say the quote again, and then
there's no right or wrong position for me. Personally, I feel the knee has just become part of a pre-match routine, and at the moment, it doesn't matter whether we kneel or stand. Some of us still continue to receive abuse.
Okay, calm. Now I'll pinpoint why that's. I was gonna say a meaner word, but why it's confused, or he's not. It's not even cooning. He's just ignorant. So he really thought an institution of thinking that had been manifested over centuries was gonna go away through this one thing in a matter of months. Because him saying that we still get it implies that he was saying, "Oh, I would have backed it if us kneeling got rid of racism." That's stupid to me. Second of all, he's saying it's become a ritual. What else was it meant to become? Certain things not everything in a movement has to be direct and invoke action. Some of them can be more, what's the word? When it's more visual.
Just like
there's a word.
But something like act. I don't know.
No, act isn't right. Okay, like they're more symbolic.
Yeah, I hear that.
So like even if you go back to like the civil rights time, when you had two sides of the spectrum that were pushing for equality. You had the MLK side, which was the more tame, peaceful talks type thing, and then you had the Malcolm X side, where it's violent action. We need to move now and move mad, move with the same aggression. But they both needed to be there to incite change.
Hear that.
What Zaha's essentially doing is going, because this thing is one of the ones that it's more so it's something that just has to be there in the background, but it's still good. He's going, it shouldn't be there at all. That's dumb to me. I can't lie. Next point.
Dude, but can you hear what he's saying though? Can you hear what he's saying?
Bro, it does. Like, my point is, I hear how he's confused, and that's calm. And he can smartly, he can. Bro, I'm being real. He can eloquently put how he's confused however he wants, but he's still confused because he's missed the point. To me personally, and I feel like a lot of men will agree with me.
I wouldn't say he's confused. I would say he's missing,
especially as a black man.
You didn't need to say that, but I feel as if he.
No, I did, because if it was a white person, fair enough. If it's a black person, I wouldn't
say he's confused. I would say he's missing the bigger picture.
Would you not say that's someone that's confused?
No, not really.
If you miss the bigger picture, you're not confused. Like you're missing something.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're confused. That doesn't mean you're confused, because I still see the logic behind his point, but I just feel as if he's seeing it. Bro. He's seeing it through like a smaller lens. If he was to like open up the lens, he would see the bigger picture. That, as you said, you need both sorts of like. You need like the symbolic thing, and then you also need the change. But then he's probably thinking, this just being riding off assumption. He's probably thinking, we've been doing this symbolic thing for so long, but the powers that be, or like the powers that are, yeah, haven't brought that Malcolm X vibe of let's bring about change. So he's thinking, why am I still doing this symbolic thing, waiting for the other half to come, and it's not coming?
You know, it's jokes. I guarantee, yeah. Obviously, I'm also assuming too. Sit him down and let's see how much he actually. No, sit him down and let's see how much he actually knows about Black history. I don't think he's thinking it like I think you've assumed too much for him. I don't think he thinks so. I think he's ignorant to the whole thing. Just from the way he was talking about certain things, I was like, I don't think this nigga knows a lot about Black history. I might be wrong. Maybe this guy's hella learned on it. I doubt that, but maybe. So then, like, you go in, like, you were like, I get his logic behind it. Bro, on a maths paper, someone can have banging logic and still get the wrong answer. That nigga was still wrong.
Yeah, they'll still get working out marks, though.
But this is real life, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, the person marking it is probably a white person. That's the only way he's getting marks. Like, me personally, there are certain man, and I never thought I'd be this guy in it. Never thought I'd say this. Yeah?
Don't say it.
Do you remember how Stormzy was treated by politicians?
Yeah.
When they were like, stick to music, innit? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't agree with that. Especially because Stormzy's done so much for, like, the image of Black people, and even in his community, doing all these other, like, outreaches and whatever. And he seems to be a learned person on the issues. I personally didn't get that vibe of what Zaha was saying. I think this is one of them ones, if you're not going to better the movement with your platform, just lay back. There's no pressure on you as a Black person to speak on it if you aren't learned on it.
Nah, there is though. There is in the media, bro. There is in the media. There is. If you're Black, they automatically assume that, like, you know everything. You know the right answers. Like, for example, like on Sky, yeah, when like racism happens or something, they just put Michael Richards on the spot. He doesn't know. With all respect to him, he doesn't have a Scooby. He doesn't know the answers. He doesn't know. They just think that, because we've got a Black man in the studio, he's gonna speak for all the Black people. When my life don't work like that, you hear me?
Do you know what? I remember I think you've seen it too. There was a person who was Black, and I think I got onto them, but now I understand. Like, now I kind of rate that they didn't speak. They were like how they didn't want to speak on the issues. It was someone Black.
I think it might have been Michael Richards. I know he did that once, and people were telling him he's a coon.
See that, yeah? Now, I was one of them people, but now I've clocked, yeah? If you don't understand it, you shouldn't actually talk about it.
But the situation he didn't speak on, bro, it was bait the guy was racist, but he was like, we should wait. Like, what the hell? Like, the guy, everyone heard him say, Black man over there. Do you get what I mean? So, nigga was racist, but he just didn't say anything. It was bait, live.
It wasn't that one. It was, so I don't think it was one where someone had asked him about something that was going on, like a movie. I think it was BLM. And then the person just chose not to give views on it. And I think just because you're Black, you shouldn't necessarily speak out on it, because you can do more damage. You can do more damage than good. I hear that,
but don't you think? I know this is gonna sound a bit deep here, but don't you think that? Don't you think, like, if you're someone that's within the media, like you're in a presenting role, you're in like a media facing role, do you feel as if, and like you're Black here, do you feel as if like you should be? I'm not saying you're an expert, you're clued up, but don't you think you should be relatively clued up to an extent? Because you know that at any time, if something happens, they're going to be asking you the questions because you're the only Black person in front of the screen.
Do you know what I think?
Because I feel as if it's harsh. I think it's harsh, but they should.
I think it is harsh.
I think it's harsh, but they should.
I think in theory it's a nice idea, but then in practicality, we're literally imposing extra requirements based on a person's skin.
Yeah, which is fun, bro, that's the conditions we're living in, bro.
So do what we're doing. We've now turned into what we despise. We've now gone, because this person is Black and he's got that opportunity, he now has to go out of his way to learn. So me personally, I think what they should do, they should at least know someone who is learned on it, so then they can then go like give their little two cents on it, and then redirect to someone that is more learned in the space.
Yes, I'll give you that.
Did you get me? That's how I feel it should be done, because I think it's unfair. Like, this is what I was saying before, it links into what we were talking about before. Some man, even if you're Black, that isn't necessarily a prerequisite for you to understand these topics. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, just being born Black, you can You can feel an element of it through your living
experiences, but knowledge-wise, concrete knowledge, you don't technically have.
Exactly.
I agree.
You hear that? Like, and there are certain man, like, I feel like I'm just pushing this agenda, and I really don't mean to, but it really struck a chord with me when Zaha was speaking the way he was speaking, because a lot of young black ballers would probably look up to him. Do you get me? And a lot of men are going to absorb those views as well. And a lot of white men are going to absorb those views as well, and then use it to feel their side.
That's the only thing I don't really like about it. Now you say you're not taking the knee, yeah. They're not going to read the article where you're going into like saying why you're not taking the knee because action isn't being taken on actual racism. They're not reading that. They're just seeing the headline, and they're just seeing you on the pitch not taking the knee when other black guys are taking the knee, and they're thinking, cool, if this black lad isn't taking the knee, why should I care? Do you get what I mean? So when I argue with you about this point, yeah, I'm not arguing. I'm playing a bit of devil's advocate in it because
bro, it's
because I do agree with you to an extent in it. I feel as if even though I hear what man's saying, I feel as if man should have still taken the knee, because even though what you're saying is trying to do good. It's not how it look. It's not how you're trying to do it. It's how it looks, and how it looks is that now you're up. Do you get what I mean? When really you're trying to do more positive than negative, but it doesn't look like that because it doesn't look like.
I don't even
solidarity. Jesus, that's a big word for me.
What's it? Do you know what? But the thing that you're asking him to have in this instance is the thing he's lacking throughout all of it. So for him to realize that maybe his point in some small vacuum, which I don't necessarily agree with, but in some small vacuum makes sense. Bigger picture, it doesn't. You need to be, what's the word? Maybe conscientious of your surroundings to be able to see that. But someone who was conscientious of their surroundings would never have came out of that in the first place. Do you get what I'm saying? I feel like his point stemmed from a place of ignorance, low key. And then even if you heard other parts of the interview that weren't to do with black stuff, with that nigger hating stuff, it was like
Jesus. You should have seen this guy was flapping his arms around.
Like he was talking about, I think, himself and how he does things by himself. Like he don't really he's not really a together person with everyone.
He just does his own thing.
Bro, and this is very telling of what then came as his views. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you can't, like, he's probably speaking from his restricted view. To really understand elements of racism, you need to be able to connect to your fellow black brothers. To be able to understand it on more aspects than your current one. And him, someone not. He's definitely experienced some sort of racism in his life. But I will say, to the place where he is now, he's obviously kind of away from that. Even though indirectly, there's the football.
I wouldn't say he's away from it. I wouldn't say he's away from it. Niggas getting monkey DMs and monkey chants. Like, come on, he's not away from it.
But I feel like I hear that, but then I feel like with Dash, you know what? I actually, fair enough. I think the point I'll still make the point I was gonna make, but I actually do hear that. Is that I feel like money can be it can kind of create a bubble. Money and fame, it can kind of create a bubble where you stop maybe being around the people maybe you used to be around. Or people that are still going through the nitty gritty of racism, not the direct DMs. Do you get what I'm saying? Because even though these men are,
you can be fuck off rich and still experience racism, bro. Right, come on.
Nah, but then it's more. But I hear that. But then it's more that I think it creates a bubble, like a kind of padding. Because you're like deep it. Are you really telling me that someone? But then maybe this is now this is one of them points. This is just talk right now, innit? So
you can really go back in 10 minutes and say, fucked up, but you gotta carry on going. You gotta carry on going because you're too knees deep in.
Like, because I was gonna say, I don't know. I just feel like because you seem to see a trend with the richer people get, often the more out of touch.
Yeah, true. But I think,
do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think that comes from just like a thing where. So you're right to an extent because it's a thing where I don't know, you're rich. And obviously, like, let's not be fooled here. Like, the richer you are, this is a bit of a stereotype, but the less black people you're gonna be around. So maybe you're a bit desensitized to it.
And you know what? I think even the richer you are, the less you really have to mix. Because more time, if you're not rich, how you really get into work. Let's say if you don't have a car, what are you doing?
Chauffeur things.
Transport. Like, no, I'm saying if you're not rich, just an average person. I feel like you're more exposed as an average person than you would be as a richer person. Like a rich person, you can basically choose where you want to be all the time. I don't think it's the same for someone that necessarily isn't on that same tax bracket. Obviously, this bit is more waffle in it, but like, I don't know. I think, what's the word? Maybe. Do you know what it is? I think I know what it is. The influx of money probably puts bare yes men around you, and that's where the issue comes from. Less people are going against something. So let's say that if I say something, even this podcast now, I say something, you'll be like, bro, you're chatting shit. Whereas as the money raises, people start to change. So your opinions are getting less and less. What's the word? Like, less people are rebuttaling to your points. So you're now in a space to possibly form more ignorant thoughts than if you are a nobody in a sense. Do you get me?
No, I hear you.
But in short, yeah, like the takeaway from like all of this, like maybe I've been unfair. I doubt it. But
I think you have been a bit. I think you have been to an extent.
But that's what I'm saying. I want to hear him on another interview, and I want to hear. Okay, how much do you know then? Because I feel like people, in a way, how you were like, do you think parents should do some sort of course? I feel like black people who have a platform and like to speak should be able to answer like certain questions about black history before you're allowed to make an opinion.
But isn't that what I said? But you were like, that's harsh. That's literally what I said like 5 minutes ago. And you were like, that's harsh to expect that from them.
Ooh.
You're backtracking.
That's true. No, that's true.
Backtrack.
Now I'm thinking, wait.
But see, it's hard, bro. It's hard. I feel for them. I really do feel for them, bro. Because you could never say the right thing. You're always gonna displease someone. You're always gonna displease someone. Always. It's tough, man. That's why sometimes I have to cut them a bit of slack. Because like even sometimes when I'm on this podcast, yeah, and you throw a question at me, and I'm thinking, they ain't got that time when they're live, bro. They go just speak. True. It's hard, man. It's hard. You gotta cut them a bit of slack unless they say something wayward. Like wayward.
The problem is, the problem with like the ego and everything is that even when a man don't know, he'll still talk. Yeah, that's the main issue with all of this. Do you get what I'm saying? Like let's be real. Like you see before, because I deeped, like I kind of recall what you're saying. I'm here going, they should say that they don't know, but how many men are gonna do that? Forget, like on a pride level, how many men on a daily basis can be like, I don't know enough about that subject.
Do you know one person who I actually saw do that, and I was very surprised. It was a Carla. He had like a Instagram live stream. This was around like when the George Floyd thing happened, didn't it? And then I think it was like a Q&A. Like people would ask him a question, then man would just answer off the top of his head, sort of a thing. But he was giving like very in depth answers. I think someone asked him a question about something. He was just like, "I'll be honest with you, I don't have enough information on this. Like I'll do my research and get back to you. But right now, if I was to answer it, I would be doing it injustice, sort of a thing." I was like, fair enough.
So, bro, do you know that if you man know or don't know, this Akala brother is incredibly smart. I think he's got a few books out as well on different sectors of history.
No, I'm just talking to my friend. Are you going to bed?
Your dad came in to lay down the law. That's definitely your dad. That's not your mom.
Do you want to get something? You sure? It's a bit early for you, though.
He's got him quaking.
Yeah, it's 10:30, you know.
I must have go to bed so I can do my podcast.
The mortgage payer. you think I can pause this podcast for him? Let me just close that. Nah, that Zena just came in to say he's going bed, didn't it? You guys stop anything for that guy. You guys think because I stepped to him last episode when I gave you that story, I step to him every day. Episode 8 when I stepped to my dad. I can't do that every day. But anyway,
bro, if you answer him, he look bare polite. Man, I was like, yes, boss, yeah. Night, isn't it? Sweet dreams. Yeah. So Akala, he's someone that is a very learned individual, innit? And I think a hallmark of someone smart is their capacity to be able to be like, I actually don't know. Whereas it's the fools that will always be like, I know. Any instance, any question, they have an answer regardless if it's just bullshit. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, just to take away, like, I feel like we've been talking about this for a minute. It's because it's such a complex topic,
complex.
and even us, let's be real,
I don't
like,
know
we're unqualified. Yeah, like we're unqualified to speak about it, but I feel like it's still interesting to listen into, because maybe some people who are listening in, maybe we offered up some perspectives they may not have thought of already. Or maybe, you know, or if you're listening to this and you think maybe we've missed it completely, maybe we're engaging in coonery, message us, innit? Enlighten us, educate us. Yeah. That's the whole purpose of this stuff.
Do you know what I'd love? You know, when we make it big time, I would wanna bring on like someone that literally like they went uni, masters, PhD, and
in like African studies or something.
That is literally all they study. Like that is their life's calling. Like just like,
but do you see
like
what I'm saying?
And stuff like that. Just
this is what I was saying earlier. Yeah, certain man can do this for 7 years as hard study, and we assume the average black person has access to that knowledge. It's so confusing. I think due to our experiences, we obviously have more of a say into what racism is than a person that isn't coloured, innit? But then if someone was then to ask us, like, okay, but then who would know what racism is? Bro, I feel like a lot of men would not actually be able to sit. And you know what? See, this is so complicated, because then it's like, do we have to know that? Round it.
We're going around in circles.
I know. You know what? Okay, just to round up here, it's a continuous, complicated journey of just being a black person. Every day it evolves, every day it changes as to what the new metrics are, what we have to know, and I was finding out what stuff that we did know before was wrong. It's incredibly confusing, I can't lie. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like we should we should have more of these conversations more often with more black people. I think this is how you pass on education. Something I don't know, someone else will know. Something they don't know, I might know. Something I don't know, you might know. And then we just have this chain of like dialogue. We're just educating each other, and then getting more in touch with us as black people, understanding what it actually means to be a black person, especially to do with our history and our heritage and all that other stuff. But yeah, so that's rounded like a decimal. What is? Oh right, wait, it's Young Sage time, isn't it?
You knew it was. Why are you acting surprised?
No, because Brian, it clock's been an hour 57. 1 sec, let me get.
Oh, you've been so unorganized today, man. Like, get a grip.
Let me turn on the lights and get your intellectual bright. Come on.
This guy's been so.
You want more rhymes? I'll do the crime, huh?
I said you've been so unorganized today.
I know, man. Probably because I'm black, innit?
You know what? Yeah. Like something like that. That's maybe that's the sort of joke that we worry about. All colleagues would run. Man's late. You know why? Like something like that. Something like that.
Do you know what? You know them ones there. Yeah, I always feel because I'm late. Like I'm late bare, and every time I'm late, I'm like, damn.
I'm feeding into
stereotype. Yeah, but at the same time, it's an unfair skew, because when you're late, a black person can be late once and he immediately enforces a stereotype. Because people are looking for him to enforce that stereotype. Do you get me? They're waiting for it subconsciously, because the stereotype exists. Yeah. Whereas someone, like, I guarantee if someone, let's say like 2 people have been working a month, yeah, a white guy, this is obviously speculation, innit? And people can say it's cap. A white guy's late twice, a black guy is late once. End of the month, ask Mandem who's more likely to be late. I'm saying. It's interesting, isn't it? So there's no soundtrack today because I just couldn't think of a soundtrack to encapsulate what today's topic is. So obviously we've just gone from the topic of like racism, and it's a very emotional concept and matter. And the concept I'm going into on today's segment of Young Sage segment, bro, I forgot the name for a sec, is stoicism. This is essentially the philosophy that kind of embodies staying unperturbed, or just like staying the same throughout emotional times, isn't it? The actual so there's a word. Have you heard the word? Like, have you heard the word a stoic, or someone that's like described as, or he's quite stoic?
Yeah, isn't that someone that's just like they're calm?
Yeah. So like, so the actual definition: a person who can endure pain or hardship without showing their feelings or complaining. So funnily enough, like as I go into explaining this, I think there are certain aspects of this that remind me of Toye and when he was talking about, or when we were both talking about stress and how we deal with it on episode, was that
6?
Was it 6?
Can
6,
I die?
Yeah. How do you remember? All these? But yeah, can't lie. Yeah. So then, and a lot of the stuff that Toye was saying about, like, if it's something that if it's out of your control, then there's no point stressing. That in itself is very stoic. So a lot of people actually embody stoic philosophies without realizing it. So Stoicism was birthed in ancient Greece. There are a few big figureheads of Stoicism. Some that you might have heard. There's the person who made it, Zeno of Cyprus or Citium. There's Epictetus, who's another significant figure. He was actually a slave, and he ended up being this massive Stoic philosopher.
Right.
And there's probably the most significant one, Marcus Aurelius. He's probably one of the greatest emperors ever. He was one of the last great emperors of Rome, and he reigned Rome for, I think it was about 2 decades, and he led that country through like 2 wars and everything. And he's just regarded as one of the best leaders ever. And he used to do this thing where he would journal, like throughout that. Imagine, like, if you're the emperor of fucking Rome for like 20 years, he just over time journaled his thoughts, what he was going through, his struggles with being someone that followed Stoicism. I'll explain in it. I'll go into more depth of its origins, but this emperor, he would just journal like loads, like how he feels, how he's finding the plight, this and that, and then eventually they came to be known as the Meditations. So you know,
it's not YSS if you don't say the word meditation.
It's not.
You know, we should have like a game where if you're listening to the podcast and if I know says meditation, or if I say oh, do you know what I mean?
Bro, niggas will be yacked by 40 minutes, bro.
Niggas will be on the floor, man.
So yeah, so he's probably the most famous Stoic there, wasn't it? So the person who made it, Zeno of Cyprus, he was basically this wealthy merchant who lost everything when he was shipwrecked in Athens around 300 BC. And then while he was in Athens, obviously man's bare down on his luck. He's like, damn, what do I do? Like, everything's gone to shit. He wanders into this bookshop and he reads about another philosopher called Socrates. Socrates is a really big philosopher. I feel like
I know Socrates.
You might have heard about it. Yeah, he's very big. So he wandered into a bookshop and read about Socrates, and he was immediately kind of fascinated, and he went to seek out and study with the city's philosophers in Athens. That's where he then created Stoicism. And the name Stoicism comes from Stoa. I might butcher this pronunciation. So there's a word called Stoa Poikou, and basically it stands for painted porch. And that's where this Zeno guy used to go and give his like lessons. That's why it's called Stoicism, because the place he was at was like a Stoa Poikou or whatever, so they called it Stoicism. And that's where his disciples gathered. So back in the day, you know how now you have a school and it's a group of people? Back in the day, schools would just be one person. Like, have you heard of a school of thought?
Nah.
Like, so there's that phrase, like a school of thought. And a lot of these philosophers, one person would be the school. And what would happen is they would get disciples. Even Jesus was actually like, what do you call it? He embodied a school of thought. And he garnered disciples. Like, there were disciples way before Jesus, innit? And like, the one person would be called the master teacher. But I was learning bare about this stuff, even though I haven't like gone into it bears. You know, like when people get baptized.
Yeah.
They was doing that even before it was like religious reasons. Like, so when someone gets baptized, it basically means that person submits wholly to your school of thought. So they're baptized into your school of thought. Right. So I think, is it John? Do you remember John the Baptist?
Yeah.
In the Bible, yeah. So then, like, this is kind of a side note, because I find it cool about the whole disciple stuff. So, Jesus was initially, like, he came to him, innit? And he was, like, a student of a school or whatever. And then, remember, that's why John the Baptist baptized him, and he went, whoa, I should be baptizing you.
This nigga's been reading this Bible. This nigga's been reading this Bible, man.
No, because it linked in, innit? And then, like, later on, John the Baptist went, he literally gave his school to Jesus. So all of his followers, he went, follow this brother now. This is kind of unrelated, but just wanted to like knock in the idea of schools of thoughts and how they worked. So obviously, Stoicism was a school of thought. So Stoics believed everything around us operates according to a web of cause and effect, resulting in a rational structure of the universe that they called logos. So they were like kind of everything has a reason. Like there's a reason for everything that happens, and you can track these things back if you're rational enough. So Stoicism is based on 4 cardinal virtues. 1, practical wisdom. This is the ascertaining of knowledge, like a depth of knowledge. 2, temperance, being able to control yourself. That was a very big thing for them. They were very disciplined. Like I think one of their main things was that you can find a lot about yourself through subjecting yourself to a lot of like many types of discipline. 3 was justice, to pursue justice and always try and be fair. And 4 was courage. And this courage doesn't necessarily mean like fighting lions every day. Like one guy called Seneca, he said this. Oh, go on.
Nah, carry on talking.
Wait,
we're good.
Go on. So like, I think I mentioned, no, I didn't. Another big figurehead was Seneca, and there were loads of quotes. So one of the quotes he said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." That's what they mean when they say courage. Do you get me? It doesn't necessarily mean going out and doing bad stuff out of your comfort zone. Even living takes some level of courage. Yeah. So, and the funny thing is, so this was 300 BC, yeah? And remember I said that Marcus Aurelius guy had a book called The Meditations of his Journals. That's what Mandela read in his 27-year prison stint. He read Marcus Aurelius's Meditations to get him through it.
Ah, okay.
That's mad, isn't it? So something that happened that long ago.
It's still relevant to that time.
And then he then read that and then went and did what he did with apartheid. It's mad. So cool I'm just gonna, as I'm cool, isn't it? So like, the best way for you to get a gist of it is for me to give quotes in it. So as I'm explaining, I'll give quotes here and there. So Epictetus, this is one of his ones. He went, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." What do you make of that?
Say that again.
So we suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them. Do we say it again?
No, we don't suffer from. You basically said we don't suffer from the things that happen in our lives, but our judgment of them.
Exactly. So, what do you think about that?
Maybe not necessarily what has happened, but more in the sense of how you react once it happens and how you take it in, and what's next. That's exactly what I thought it was too, and it's cool, innit? So it's like it's a very calm way of thinking. Yeah. It's like it's regaining control back to the self. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So, funnily enough, one psychotherapy used today kind of stems from Stoicism. So, have you heard of cognitive behavioral therapy? No, I haven't.
So that's the bait name. There's another name, rational emotive behavioral therapy, and in that, it's basically an approach where they challenge the current person's belief systems and thinking patterns, and they try and kind of tweak those over time. Like they kind of test their current thinking system to show them holes, to get them to a more positive mindset. Jumba I said that you know how I said they see the universe is called logos. Yeah, Jumba I said time back. I was reading that book about that guy that was in the Nazi concentration camp.
Yeah, like, it was like a passing comment.
Yeah, so he was a psychologist, didn't it? And he developed a therapy called logotherapy. So, a therapeutic approach that helps people find personal meaning in life. A form of psychotherapy focused on the future and on our ability to endure hardship and suffering through a search for purpose. So, a lot of what we know from certain philosophers in the Stoic school, like Seneca, are from his like letters. He would write letters counseling his friends back in the day. So, like, one of his friends called Lucilius was a civil servant in Sicily, and he was engaged in one mad lawsuit, and he was bugging out. And then he sent a letter to Seneca. He was like, "Yo, like, what do I do?" And then he was like, "Well, you have 2 doors." He kind of went, "The best thing you can do in your situation is to imagine the worst case scenario and then get comfortable with it. Actually start to believe it might happen. So as to prepare your mind for when it does, and that will calm you." As opposed to
see those jokes.
Did you get it?
The jokes thing is that like people usually say, don't assume the worst case scenario.
But he's saying you should
And embrace
because
it.
deep it exactly because like they're like a big thing about Stoics is they try and be as realistic as possible, whereas other people are always based in delusion, and then that's when a lot of our hurt comes from. Because deep it, when you're upset about life, it's purely because life isn't going the way you thought it would be going.
Never expanded. Never expanded.
Exactly, and that's why you get fucked up. So he's here going, nah, bro, expect things to go shit, and then things will go better because you've got rid of that fake delusional expectation of how life should be, and you're not able to embrace it for what it is because you have the worst case scenario in the back of your mind. He even said this like as a quote. He went, "Hope for that which is utterly just, and prepare yourself for that. Hope for that which is utterly just, and prepare yourself for that is utterly unjust." Other quotes were, okay, no, that's not really a good quote, does it?
No, it doesn't fit into your agenda.
Yeah, no. Like, I'll read it, but it's because it's Epictetus. He goes, and you, although you are not yet a Socrates, should live as someone who at least wants to be a Socrates. So he's talking about striving to certain people. That's why I said if man them don't know who Socrates is, then that's kind of a useless quote. Do you get me? The Stoics believed the entire cosmos to be one massive organism. They believed everything that happens is predetermined. They believed in a deterministic universe, i.e. fate. So then they went, this is Marcus Aurelius. This is a cool quote, innit? He goes, "Whatever happens to you has been waiting to happen since the beginning of time. The twining strands of fate wove both of them together, your own existence and the things that happen to you."
So he basically said, don't worry if you're fucked, because you're always destined to be fucked.
Exactly. And I like that. I can't like that. I think it's a cool mindset to have, because then you can then accept it as opposed to consistently resisting the path of your life. Do you get what I'm saying?
Hey, did you read? This might be a bit of a reach. Maybe you didn't read it, but did you read on like ways to become more stoic?
I actually did. One sec.
I've set you off now. You've got to go get another book or something, did it?
I had it on another time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Because I realized if you just giving bad quotes, but niggas are trying to say, how do I get to this level of enlightenment?
Okay, so number 1, develop an internal locus of control.
What? Sorry, I missed that.
Develop an internal locus of control. So that's just like gain some sort of control internally. It's kind of pertaining to what I said, in the beginning, was that how much of our life is not in our control. So start to establish what is in your control, and then kind of work on that, as opposed to wasting time speculating on things that actually aren't in your control. What's it? And the second one is guard your time. We're tight-fisted with property and money, yet think too little of wasting time. The one thing about which we should all be the toughest misers. The Seneca again. So he's just kind of saying how important time is. Because let's be real, property and money, they all just equate to some currency of time. Let's be real. The more money you have, the more time you have back. We work through our lives to essentially buy time back. Do you get me? 3, don't outsource your happiness. This is probably why they entertain many ways of discipline. See what I'm saying? Like they're trying to go without so many things to find the source of happiness internally, as opposed to depending on external sources of happiness. They were like, much of what we do stems from our primal need to be liked and accepted by others. Disapproval from our social group had serious repercussions in the past. It would have likely meant exile and eventually death in the wilderness. So, but how much time and effort? Go on.
No. Finish your quote. Finish your quote.
But how much time and effort do we spend trying to win the approval of others? What is it costing us? So the only way, like, I think there's it gives an example, but I'll just leave that out. We have much to learn. Far better for us to live life on our own terms and ignore the opinions of others. Happiness should never be outsourced. Go on, what are you going to say?
No, I was basically trying to summarize. Is he basically just trying to say, find what makes you happy, not others.
Yeah, like yeah. So it's that kind of stop looking for external validation.
No,
Start to validate yourself internally.
fair enough.
Because like I think all of these things, all of these virtues and points that they try and make, they're trying to nudge people towards freedom, like true freedom, like freedom of worldly affairs. And that's one of them. That yearning for validation is you want people to like you or to rate you, or whatever, and that will always keep you trapped down in it. This kind of, I'm not gonna go into it, but you know our conversation last week on leaders.
Oh yeah, you know, Favor actually sent. You see, Favor sent in that.
I listened to that.
I added it to my list because I'm on a backlog with our podcast.
I liked it still, and then like one of the things that he mentioned that I liked was like, if you have a leader that yearns for external validation, then how can he really lead? Because then a leader should be unperturbed by what his followers say, because that's why they follow him. Whereas if a leader now becomes someone that does it for the affection and that, then that person can be controlled by other people. So he's not a good leader. So it's similar to this.
Makes sense.
Outsource your happiness in a sense. Yeah. Number 4, stay focused when confronted with distractions. If a person doesn't know to which port they sail, no wind is favourable. Seneca. Do you like that one? Should I say it again?
Yeah, go on.
So, because I can't, this is hard. If a person doesn't know to which port they sail, no wind is favourable. What do you think it means? Because I like breaking them down. What do you think it means to you?
Say it again.
Do you want me to read it again?
God.
Wait, how much do you know about sailing? Do you know what a port is?
So that's just where like not where you land, but where you like.
Yeah, basically, like
finish.
Like, yeah. So I can't. So if a person doesn't know to which port they sail, no wind is favourable.
So know the direction you want to go in life.
Otherwise, any form of energy, it doesn't help. Yeah. So just kind of trying to stay focused when confronted with distractions. And I think that's probably a big one for people in our day and age. I think we have the most distractions of humanity ever. So it's so hard for people to stay one-track minded. And that's why you're just seeing a decline in the amount of people that feel like they have a purpose because they're just too busy being distracted by these worldly affairs. Number 5.
How many numbers are there? I'm thinking just so when you can give us a
27. No, there's like 9. There's 9.
Let's run through them so we can summarize and wrap.
Calm. So 5 is, you know what I'll do? I'll just say them and then say the quote. 5, toss away ego and vanity. Throw out your conceited opinions, for it is impossible for a person to begin to learn what he thinks he already knows. Epictetus. That's the stuff that we were saying before. Do you remember we used that how, like, the difference between smart and ignorant? How an ignorant person thinks he knows everything already. That's why they're saying it's imperative for you to toss away ego and vanity in the aid to learn more. Number 6, consolidate your thoughts in writing. No man was ever wise by chance. Seneca. Well, this Seneca guy was hard. So they're just basically saying, like, that's why, like, so in the example of Marcus Aurelius, he journaled a lot. Any form, try and journal or something. Consolidate your thoughts in writing so you can self-reflect. Because if it just stays in your head, it's nothing. It can be skewed. It can be changed. Something that you thought about today strongly, a week later, you might not feel that strongly. And you'll forget how strongly you ever felt about it. You write it down, that's there. Word is bond. Doesn't matter how your mind strays when it normally does. You can go back and see, right, that's how I felt about that in that moment. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. It gives you you're now able to track your progress as a person more efficiently. 7, stand your ground.
No.
In doing nothing, men learn to do evil. Cato, stand your ground. So this is similar to your situation that you started the episode with when you saw the 2 men fighting.
Oh yeah.
In doing nothing, men learn to do evil. Had you not done nothing in that situation, even though you weren't directly involved, you were naturally bypassing and allowing evil to occur had they got into a fight. But you did something. Do you get me? You intervened. You stood your ground.
Niggas trying to give me accolades, man.
Come on, man. And then number 8, imagine the worst that could happen. We already said this, but Nothing happens to the wise man against his expectations. Seneca. I don't need to explain that one because I feel like that's self-explanatory. Number 9, and finally, I feel like a lot of men will resonate with this, innit? Remember that nothing endures. Alexander the Great and his mule driver both died, and the same thing happened to both. Marcus Aurelius. See, I don't even get that. Alexander the Great and his mule driver. In the grand scheme of things, none of what we've achieved matters. It's a sobering thought. We all experience the world like we are at the center of reality. That creates an illusion where our importance is inflated. We see ourselves as the protagonist in our own story. But the truth is, this perception exists only in our minds. Everyone around us walks around with a similar mindset, but each of us are insignificant in the long run. Even the brightest minds, such as Edison and Newton, would eventually be relegated to a footnote. There is no need for us to conform to irrational expectations and external pressures. Neither do we need to chase accomplishments in the hope of building a legacy. None of these things last. All that matters is we live our life on our own terms. It is the only way we can truly say that we have had a good life. That's really it.
Give us a summary of what you've read in general.
I think to summarize everything, damn, 2 hours.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to wrap it.
yeah. Sorry, guys.
Nah, it's fine. To be fair, I've spoken quite a bit as well. We went off on a tangent with a couple of stuff.
But that's the beauty of podcasts and conversations, isn't it?
Until they log off.
I think just to summarize, I think what I felt from stoicism, because this isn't the first time I've encountered it. That's kind of probably why I wanted to do it now. But I feel it's, 1, strive for discipline, because through discipline you'll be able to get to know yourself better. Through getting to know yourself better, you can then aspire for more realistic things that are good for you. Do you get what I'm saying? In that last point, you see when it was like, don't aspire to build a legacy. It's not saying don't build a legacy. It's saying build a legacy if that's the natural trajectory of what you want to do. Don't do it in the pursuit of being some big person. Otherwise, you miss the whole point of life. You'll get to about 50, 60, doing all these other things that you thought you wanted to do, but not really getting any feeling out of them. So what was the point? Did you really live a fulfilled life? So it's kind of just about try and block out as much distraction from the world and center yourself around you. Because once you do that, it's impossible to put a foot wrong because you're doing exactly what you want to do, as opposed to doing something that someone else wants you to do and you think it's what you want to do. Do you hear me?
Yeah, no, I like that point.
And that's how I really summarize it. Yeah,
that was a good point.
Why it says for this week.
That was a good point.
Yeah, put me under pressure, and I saw that time ticking. I was like, fuck.
Nah, you know what? It was a long one, but it was actually it was worth it. It was a good one.
Yeah, and I hope people will listen to this and take bits from it. I think even someone we know, I won't say their names, but they've been searching for a job for ages, and no hardship endures. They finally got a job.
Come on. See, I don't know who that is, but come on.
Yeah.
Mikey.
It's like, and what's mad is I saw her last week, and she was like grinding, and she was still in that mindset of like kind of you're doubtful, but you're still going on, and hardship never endures. Now she has the job. Do you get what I'm saying? But yeah, like these little footnotes and whatever, I'm just trying to get you, man, to live life as smooth as possible. Not as efficient as, I guess they're one and the same, but the smoother you live, the easier your life will be. Do you get me? But yeah, that's really it.
Seems like he's got his life together.
Love for listening. Come on. Do you know what? I can't lie.
Shut up, man.
No, shall I be real? I was going to mention this earlier, but I forgot. Bro, I think she was wrong, innit? Me personally, because I actually know you, innit? I think you're one of my friends that very much does it. You know what it is? It's because you have this veil of goofiness, innit? But on like niggas that know you know you're actually very serious, innit?
No, bro.
You see what I'm saying?
Niggas trying to make me happy.
But I got like T. Don't worry, man. It's okay, bro. It's okay.
Shut up, man.
Nah, but calm. Like that's why it says this is like T.
Yeah,
sign us out. It's
been a good one. To be fair, I was even thinking like when it reached like 2 hours and like 10 minutes, I was thinking every week's smaller by smaller, we're actually getting longer. But I was like, you know what? Yeah. Fuck it, just let it run, man. Let it vibe, let it ease out. You get me? But yeah, man, that's been a good one. We started off how our weeks went, had a bit of fighting, bit of partying, bit of babysitting, bit of parenting,
from the niggas that ain't got
Yeah. bit of racism, bit of politics, bit of football, bit of summer, bit of stoicism, bit of calm.
By the way, all daughters. Sorry,
I thought of that as well when I was speaking. I didn't say
all
it.
daughters.
I'm not getting cancelled. But yeah,
because it made it seem like that's what I envisioned a child to be.
But yeah, it's been a good one. We've covered a range of topics. We've had a bit of laughs. We've had a bit of agendas, but we've also had a bit of facts. And, that's what we're trying to do. Trying to give a bit of fun, but give a bit of something that you might not get from somewhere else. If you know the vibes, you know the pattern. But yeah, man, it's been your boy. It's been your boy T.
It's been your boy Fanuel.
You didn't say Young Sage, you know.
I did it on purpose.
Yeah, you're trying to copy.
But I can't lie. Yeah. Sometimes I feel pretentious saying it, but then sometimes I really like
Nah. Own it. That's your thing, bro.
I think it fits.
Nah, that's your thing. I can't lie. That's fully your thing now, bro.
Yeah.
I can't lie. But yeah.
Let me sign up properly. So it's the Young Sage Fanuel.
But yeah, man, it's been a good one. This is season 1, episode 9. Obviously, it's like if this is your first, second, third, fourth, or even 9th episode. Same as we always say, love for tuning in, whether it's a minute, whether it's a second, whether it's an hour, even if you got all the way here, or if you skipped my buffoonish to get straight to Young Sage because you love it. Like, bro, if that's why you're here, if you're here for Live with TV, here for Young Sage, if you're here for how our weeks went only, like, we don't mind as long as you're enjoying it. Like we're good with it. But yeah, man, it's been a good one. Next week is episode 10. Hopefully we can raster up something for you, man. That's gonna be decent for you, man, to enjoy. Me and Fan we'll have a little brainstorm, see if we can bring anything snazzy jazzy for episode 10.
I can't lie. I just thought of something. I won't say it on there.
We're cooking already. We're cooking already. Whip it.
All I'm gonna say is SG.
Huh? What's that?
I'll tell you off air, but just SG.
Even me, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't end this episode quickly. But yeah, man, it's been a good one. Episode 10 next week. It's going to be a landmark. SG, apparently a big one. We're going to see, man. But yeah, man, it's your boys. We're signing out. Remember to follow the Instagram, Agenda Over Facts Pod. Follow us on Spotify so you know when they drop straight away. Apple Podcasts if you listen to it on that. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Get them followers up. Get them subscribers up. Get everything up. We here for the long run. We here to stay. Season 1, episode 9. Agenda Over Facts signing out.